It's time for the SpaceBro Show. That's right, baby. We're back. We're back. And in the house with us tonight, the amazing, effervescent, and super snaky person. That's right. It's Snake Eater. And along with him, we have the man with the new standing desk as well. That's right. It's the amazing Dr. Drones. And the man that's here, and we haven't green screened him out, so don't look at his background until I finish this. It's the awesome Sergeant Tickles. All right, guys. All right. Let me get this thing here fixed. There we go.
You're like the worst hype dudes ever.
We are.
I was caught.
I was all right. I know.
I got an air horn in there.
Yeah, I muted you guys so they can't hear you, but you can hear me.
Oh,
benefits of the Go XLR.
They didn't even hear your air horn.
They didn't hear no air horn. They couldn't hear any of that stuff, so it was perfect. It's because Go XLR fixes. Oh, there we go. Now we got it. Now they got the token air horn. Let me get Tickles fixed here. So, guys, how are you doing, man? We haven't done this in a minute, right? It's been a little bit.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
We're back, baby.
We're back. We're back. We're on a regular schedule again. We'll be doing these for everybody who wants to know. 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. PST. I don't think we have any Mountain Time viewers, so they don't count. Sorry, guys. So yeah, I think we're going to be doing this on the regular again. So we'll be here each Friday doing this, and yeah, we're going to rotate in all the boys and stuff and talk some Star Citizen. Got to keep the hype train going. So we'll do the usual, go around the room, do the thing. You'll see some new format changes coming in the coming weeks, but for right now, we're going to keep it classic, baby. So let's talk to Mr. Dr. Drones. How's your week been? What have you been up to, brother? Tell us about it.
Week's been good, man. Week's been real good. Had more work than I wanted yesterday from the day job, so didn't get to stream, but been doing a lot of Star Citizen, a little bit of Satisfactory in between here and there.
Okay.
Having a good time, man. Just enjoying it.
Cool. Satisfactory, huh? Yeah, the wife's been playing that again. I haven't played it recently, but I saw they added trains and some nuclear stuff and stuff. We have to dip back into it. We might have to have a stream of that sometime.
I had a drive failure, so I lost my save and had to start over. So I haven't yet made it to the trains and the nuclear power plants and all the cool shit that's in now. But they're definitely developing it.
Yeah,
it's moving.
I could see it being a fun game to piddle around with a group, though. So we'll see if we can get something like that. If it's something scheduled in the future. All right. Okay. So, Mr. Tickles, not only thank you for the raid and the awesomeness, all that stuff. So, what have you been up to besides streaming Star Citizen like a bandit?
That's about it. That in school. That's all I do.
That's it. That's your life right now.
Dadding, Star Citizen, streaming, and school.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah, we've been able to
in that order.
Yeah, exactly. Priorities, right? Got to do it like that. So that's good, man. I mean, I've been able to watch everybody. I know, like, until I think the last month or so, I've been back around a lot more. But before that, I've been able to watch people. But obviously, I've been doing a lot of family junk and all that stuff. But I think we're at a point now where we're not only going to be able to do this, we're going to have some more exciting things coming. Which brings me over to Mr. Snake Eater. What have you been up to, brother?
Hey, working a bunch.
Yeah.
Work has had me busy, so I've been less able to stream, but still getting some streams in there and trying to crank out YouTube content for stick reviews and throttle reviews and all that kind of stuff. We got more gear on the way, so trying to get that YouTube fired up and at some point get some Star Citizen videos and stuff in there. But I think work should keep me less out of streaming the next couple of weeks.
That's
so
good.
Excited about it.
Yeah, I am too. I feel like this season's where not only for just us, for everybody, it starts to pick up a little more, you know? We're getting closer and closer to things like TwitchCon, CitizenCon, and just the fall schedule of not only TV, games, everything else. So it starts to pick up, people coming off their summer vacation. Kids go back to school here in the next, or across the next few weeks, depending where you live at. So it's,
Totally.
you know, Starts to gear up.
And it helps to have a solid patch too. I mean, 3.6 is turning out to be a pretty good entrant.
Yep. I've enjoyed what they've had so far. I've been honest though, last couple patches, I'm waiting for that 890 to drop before I get all in there. I know it's coming. I know it's imminent, but I just kind of want.
I don't know if you looked at the
One of
roadmap for it.
890J or on board, guys. There's a lot more.
Absolutely.
Star Citizen isn't just the 890 jump.
It will be though here in about a month.
Yeah. Yeah. Just give it that time. Give it that time. All right. So let's do our weekly review real quick. We're going to go through the content that CIG has been so very kind to just bestow upon us across this last week. Let's talk about a little bit about what we've seen. First off, we haven't done this in a long time, so I kind of want to get everybody's opinions for just the show basis, because we do have a few people that have personally emailed me and they only watch me on YouTube, or watch us on YouTube rather. So they don't know anything about like what's happened with the Star Citizen shows. They don't know anything about what's happened with all these other things. So now the Thursday format's changed completely over the last several months to the Inside Star Citizen. We're actually on season 2 of that now, right? Or patch 2 of that? It's been 2 patches of that. I think 3.5 the first one, or 3.4 the first one they did Inside Star Citizen. I can't remember now.
It started first of the year. Well, give or take.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't 3.0 though. They did it. I think they waited a little bit after 3.0. It was 3.1. I don't remember now. But anyway, so they do Inside Star Citizen on Thursdays, and they do it. They also don't do it as solid as a block, right? They give us about anywhere from 6 to 8 episodes between patches and all that, or during patch drops, and then they take a break, usually for a few weeks, to create more content and all that. So how do you guys all feel about the show format, as far as now that we've had a few of their, I guess, better terms, seasons, right, of this Inside Star Citizen? How are you feeling about that content versus what we had in the previous, with Around the Verse and all those things? We'll start out with Mr. Tickles this time. How do you feel about the contrast to him now that you've kind of absorbed it over the last several months?
I like it. I miss Inside Star Citizen when it's not on. I do actually miss it. I like Inside Star Citizen. I like the layout of it. I feel like it's a more fun atmosphere, a little lighter atmosphere. It's not so stiff like whatever the fuck around the verse, whatever that was.
Yeah,
I wasn't a big Around the Verse fan. So, or whatever the last show was that it replaced.
Yeah, I think it was Around the Verse was what they essentially replaced.
Yeah, so Inside Star Citizen I feel is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Star Citizen Live has about one good episode I feel every month, and the other ones are like, hey, let's watch these devs work.
Yeah.
So,
I don't feel like that's changed much though. The second show, I feel like the second show's been what the Friday show's been. For they can retitle it wherever they want to title it, right? But it's been the same thing for all time.
Yeah, that format's pretty much the same, but I feel like it's gotten, now I don't want to say worse, it's just gotten kind of dull.
Yeah,
every once in a while there's a really good episode about ships, or when Pappy's on. Or,
where you get the big information dump. And I find they usually time that perfectly with, hey, we're about to take our 3-week hiatus, let's dump a really good episode on the Inside the Verse or the end of the week thing, so they kind of tied you over with a whole bunch of chitter chatter and stuff. Drones, what do you think about the format compared to what it used to be, as far as like Inside Star Citizen versus Around the Verse, or anything that they did previously?
I like ISC. It's nice, short, and to the point, which I kind of like. As far as the format changes of everything, I really miss Bug Smashers, and I'd still like to see an occasional Lore Makers. Like, just, some of the stuff that we lost is like things that I actually watched. And, Jared said it 100 times, not every show is for every viewer or every backer. But those were the shows that I really connected with. And then they're gone. It's like I question why I sub anymore. Maybe the once a year 20% now keeps me subbed, but other than that, I don't feel like these are the shows that really grab my attention.
Yeah, they don't drive you to subscribe. It's more of a loyalty thing at this point, right? So
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
good stuff.
I watch them because, of course, I want to know what's going on, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
talk about, anything could come up during any of the shows. So I'll watch them, but they're definitely not the ones that I like really resonated with.
Absolutely. Well, Snake, I think Disco does. He still works hard. He still does a good job. But what is your impression? Well, how do you feel about the content as far as what they're presenting us? Does it still have the same subscriber value that it had before? Do you like this format better than you did around the verse? Do you think that break is like just jarring to you? What do you think? Give me your impressions between.
I think with Inside Star Citizen, they ramped up two things quite a bit. One was production value, because they, back during CitizenCon last year, they were like big boy production value, like nice cameras, good lighting, cool sets, and interesting content. And then they like slammed on the brakes and went way back down to like what they did before they got all this camera gear or whatever it was that they had for CitizenCon. And then the other thing that they weren't really providing was interesting, like inside info, like stuff they would put out before was like stuff we all already knew. So it's like, why are we watching this show, basically. And they've done both. They've improved both those things. The production value is really good. And you're getting stuff that you wouldn't get anywhere else, and you're seeing people's perspectives, and I think they're going more out of their way to give us a true inside look at some of this stuff that you can't find on newsletters, you can't find on Reddit, all that, the leaks. This is stuff that comes straight out of their devs and stuff. So I think that's really cool. I think the format's great. And it's, there's still levity there, which I think is always important to have during a development phase. You can't be too formal about things because stuff breaks all the time. But I will say that the other one is probably just a function of, some stuff is interesting topically, like, sculpting a character or ship design, and other stuff is going to you spend an hour on something, is going to be not that interesting a topic, like, how to fulfill, server loads. It's like, I don't need to watch that for an hour. But
one of the things, in my opinion, I think I agree with all you guys on just some of your perspectives on this. I think that, like you said, Snake, production values gone up immensely. I feel like they know what they're doing, what they want to shoot, and how to capture that, right? I feel like the same thing, though, that like what Tickles is saying, I miss it when it's not there. And I also don't know if I miss it when it's not there more, because I feel like we've had like this year, and I hate to refer back to like, the old days where we had the big drought of 2017. I feel like we felt glimpses of that, right? A lot of us are emotionally scarred from 2017. So I feel like we feel like, wow, we don't want this whole year to be that. I don't think it has been that, but I think some of us are a little bit gun shy of that now at this point, because it has been that we're through a trench type of development. There's a lot of engineering hurdles of trying to get through with the OCS, the server meshing, and all the things that are like roadblocks to move forward. And I think that's some of the challenges. So it's kind of make us a little more critical on what they're putting out for community wise. What could they change to make their content better, though? What do you guys think? We'll go in reverse this time. Snake, if you could improve what they're presenting to us, whether it's an additional show, whether it's some other type of content or something, what do you think would make this a better value for the community to subscribe and back the community content and videos?
More pillar talk.
More pillar talk. I've seen that a lot in chat here. Pillar talk.
Yeah, I think what's cool about pillar talk is, and I said this a lot last year, basically, which was, it's difficult not to criticize when you just don't know where their head's at. And it's difficult to feel like they're moving forward when you feel like maybe they don't even play this game.
Yeah.
Like,
and especially when your gameplay week to week and episode to episode doesn't shift dynamically a lot, right? Like you feel a lot of times you're going through the same motions you have previously.
Yeah. Do you even PvP, bro? So the pillar talk gives you that, like when Chris says, I'm tracking, that this is the state of the game. I understand that you need to know that we're this is what our vision is, and this is where we're marching toward every week. It helps have warm fuzzy. That's like, okay, he's tracking. He knows. The devs all know. The art directors that are at the table talk about, you know, what they're seeing and what they're trying to accomplish, and it just helps, you know. And I realize I can't do Pillar Talk like weekly, but it would be cool if like it was like an every month type of thing, to get some insight from the people that are like literally at the helm. You know what I mean? But probably that. Otherwise, I think it's inside is pretty good.
Yeah. Do you think it's worth the $10 backer value to support the video programming they currently have?
Ooh, so
personal opinion. Just asking.
Spoiler alert. I'm no longer a sub.
Okay. Hey, that's fair.
You know. So here's the thing. In 3.4, I consider it to be great value because I could geek out on the magazine. I, you know, wanted to support the content even if it was anemic, and I got a wicked ship that, you know, you couldn't buy under, you know, well, you just couldn't buy it, and it was great fun for PvP. So there was a lot of value in that. They only have one of those three right now. Well, I guess I could still geek out on the magazine, but the point is, I don't think it's like, not at least a $20 value, not really there, because the ship is not worth anything. But the rest of it, I think $10 isn't too bad. The reality is I'll probably re-up it when, you know, it's like closer to the November sale or something like that. But I don't know. It's getting back to being worth it. But I think the subscriber stuff has to bring in some in-game stuff to make it, like, I'm sorry, but recolors of like 18 recolors of the stuff that we've had for 3 years is nailed it.
Same bullshit light armor.
Like, I literally, they could have emailed me the files for that, and I could have done that. You know,
I think that could be included in a monthly update, right? Like, just say, hey, we've added some more variety in colors and stuff like that. But I think, again, they're probably also stretching for content. For those guys watching, before we move on to, you know, Drones' answer, we are doing a vote in chat there if you guys want to. Simple question: do you sub to Star Citizen community content still? Do you pay $10 or $20 level? Just out of curiosity. Vote 1 for yes, you do, or vote 2 for no, and we'll tell you what that results are, or you'll be able to see it here in chat shortly. So we'll just kind of check that out.
You mean like, do you sub regularly, right?
Are you currently, like, we'll say right now, are you a sub to the video thing? Are you paying the $10 or $20 right now? I mean, you could do it when you see something shiny. Is it something that you're doing right now, though? I want to know today, just out of our audience, who is and who's not. It's just curiosity. I mean, not really trying to damn the project or anything. I'm just curious.
You need to give people the ability to lord over other people. That's like at the heart of human desire. And, you know, you need armor pieces that only subs have. That, like, I mean, I get it. There's like a recolor that only subs get. It's still garbage. Like, if the bounty hunter armor that's supposed to come in a couple patches was sub only, bet we're all subbing.
You might be giving them a bad idea here. That would.
Well, honestly, I just don't know why they haven't monetized all that stuff before. There's 2 areas that are like slam dunk funding sources. One is ships, and they kind of have, you know, they have some weird ideology around that too, but they still make money with it. And the other is like armor and you know, in-game stuff. Like, I get it. You're trying to save some of that content for when the game comes out, but you could say that about ships too. So let loose on the armor and the, you know, guns and stuff. I don't know. I mean, that's just my thought.
Yeah. Drones, how about you? 2 questions. Again, I'll restate them for you real quick. First off, if you could change something to make the content, you know, video content either better, or do you think it needs improvement, blah, blah, blah. And then secondly, do you think the current video content they have is of value to subscribe and back what they have, either at $10 or $20 level? You don't have to be specific whether you do or not, but just like, do you think it is of that value in your personal opinion? So it's up to you, your choice. I'm just no pressure.
So
no pressure.
I'm open about it. I'm a $20 a month sub, have been for 40 plus months. So it's a standing thing.
I thought you were going to say 40 years there for a minute. But
do I think it's a value? I mean, the 20% off once a year is nice. Does it cover the cost? Not really.
No, it doesn't. It mathematically doesn't. But yeah.
But it does help because you can use it for up to $100 on a ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, my Javelin, it was $100 off.
You paid $240 for that $100
off,
though, but yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes, but it offsets some of that. So it brings.
But you
me
get
back
you
down
get all the
to
hanger
less
flare
than
and the other
$20.
items that are subscriber only too. Yeah, so.
Yeah, okay. I think we just heard all the answers to hanger flare and all the other items. It's like, meh. The one that does actually sound cool, the only cool thing I've heard from hanger flare is, I don't know if you guys saw, but the lockers, they mentioned that there might be stuff in them in the description. So I'm curious if you guys saw the hanger lockers. No? Nobody? Okay, well, I have like 20 of them in buyback if you guys need one. But no, so that might be something cool. I don't know. So yeah, I'm a sub. The content though is definitely not the motivator for me sub. It was when I started. I don't know. I'm not feeling the 2 new show format, like just 2 shows. Like I think they should mix it up and add something in there. Maybe during that off season, like when they're in between seasons, I'd like to see, like I said earlier, I'd like to see something akin to Bug Smashers. It doesn't have to be exactly that. Something where they explain to us the hurdles that they're running into. I think we see a lot right now where we know there are problems, but we don't necessarily know how they hit those problems. Bug Smashers used to give us just a little bit of insight to say, okay, well, we broke this because of this thing on the other side of the system that we changed, and it was one line of code, and here now it's fixed, right? Like, so I'd like to see something that gives us that kind of technical insight. And again, not every show's for everybody. That's the kind of stuff I like. So yeah, that's where I stand on subbing and content.
Okay.
Give me that back. Please bring Mark back.
Bring Mark back. Yeah, I think Mark's probably buried up to his eyeballs and everything else. But yeah, I agree. Bug Smash, I feel like for me, and you guys can agree or disagree. I feel like for me, Bug Smashers is the show that I didn't know I missed. Like, I really didn't value it that much. And then after it was gone, I'm like, gosh, I kind of missed that show. So I didn't.
That way about both that and Lore Makers.
Yeah. Don't get me started on Lore Makers. I'll let Tickles answer before I get on to Lore Makers kick, because I feel like Lore Makers is just like a reprint of like 1957 stories. Like, it's like,
no, they were dry. They were definitely dry.
Yeah. So.
And now we have Galactic Historian, so that kind of helps us out.
Yeah. The community content rehashing what the Lore Makers have done is actually, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up Paul's butt, I think is better by far than just printing, hey, look what article we wrote here or what story we wrote here 4 years ago. It's great. I think, it gives perspective. It gives life to it. It breathes it in there. And I can't wait for CIG to eventually, hopefully, steal that content and do something like that, or invite Paul to do that for them, because I think it's a good thing. So
yeah, he does a great job at it.
He really does.
Yeah, I mean that gets us. We could easily have a whole show about how little CIG takes advantage of its content creators, and I'm not talking about just selfishly us here or whatever. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of people that create content for the game, educational content, lore, entertainment stuff, and they sling a shout out on Twitter, but like, aside from that, you could really integrate this stuff, and they could do you a huge solid if you just sort of invited them a little bit more into your inner circle.
I agree with you. I think they've prematurely they've evolved past that point, because you got to remember, Disco was a content creator that literally made content. Right? He had his own show. He did for what Star Citizen was. That's who he was before they hired him on there. They did a few promotions with some of the community for content creators, here and there. But then they kind of backed off of it, and they started talking to like some bigger streamers and bigger content creators and stuff. And then they just kind of, I don't know, they let it fizzle out. I wonder if they didn't feel internally they were seeing the returns off that effort, or if they think, you know what I mean? It feels like they've. Sometimes I feel like CIG feels like they move past a point internally, like we are at this level, when in reality, as far as engaging the community and the public, they're still down here, right?
Yeah, I think more often they haven't gotten to the point that everybody else is at, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. I think that all games, I think Twitch has laid bare how important it is to include your content creating community in the game. But they just have like, if Apex comes out and is instantly sponsoring and advertising, marketing streamers playing the game and inviting them to be part of their like launch and part of their process, and then this game that has almost no public facing stuff going on to speak of, doesn't even want the content creators to talk to them. It's like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It feels like they're just hurting themselves by not.
I feel like Star Citizen, between the negative press and everything else, in the early days, they've kind of put themselves and they started cornering it as a high-end niche game, much like the community of EVE Online was and is still to this day. It's a more of a niche game. The people that are involved in the EVE Online community are awesome people, super fans. They know, like, they can tell you about every war and delve back all the way to 2005 and all that stuff. Just like we go, oh, remember that one lore maker story, blah, 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 all that stuff. But it's not a game that'll ever appeal to a wider audience. And continually, not only from people within our community, but people like the impression CIG leave with and all that stuff, is they want this game to be bigger than, WoW or one day and all that stuff. They're not on the road to do that. They're not on the engagement path to ever accomplish that at this point, from my perspective. So I question whether that's still the overall intention. And I'm okay either way, to be perfectly honest, as long as the game follows the path that we're seeing and they keep accomplishing, hurdling the goals and do all that stuff. I don't need it ever to be a WoW to make me happy, right? But I don't think the game will ever achieve a potential of like World of Warcraft type of fan base, because it's not targeted at them. And if their intention is to try engage and target a wider base of people, then they probably need to change some things.
I think that if supposedly they have not spent real money on marketing, right, and they're planning on doing that, when they break the glass and start dishing out that money, they're either going to throw it into a fire of mistakes, or the sun will start shining on all of our faces because they will finally start interacting with the content creation community. But I think it's essential. I mean, at this point, I would call it a professional standard that if you want to launch a title, you better market it through Twitch, because, I mean, it's where people expect to see this stuff. You can try Twitter on its own. You can hope to sling up a couple of ads on YouTube and Google, but that's not where video gamers go to see the latest stuff on video games. And so it's just like, it would be like, when we start marketing, we're gonna try newspapers and publish, paper publications, and see where that gets us. It's like, hire a marketing person, because they're going to tell you need to go here right now and hard. You know what I mean? And
I think Sandy is the marketing person.
What's that?
I think Sandy is the marketing person.
That's somebody we haven't heard about in a long time.
I don't know if she is I don't know if she's got a degree in marketing. I have no idea what her actual background is, but I do believe she is in charge of marketing.
Yeah. When was the last time anybody heard anything from Sandy regarding the project? I'll wait.
Directly, not. But didn't she just replace one of the investors' positions? I remember reading it. I'd have to find it. Give me a couple of minutes. I'll find it.
No, that's fine. I'm just curious, because it's not a criticism. I just feel like Chris and Sandy are doing executive level stuff with other companies that they're working with, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to step away from that being in the spotlight role. The thing Chris needs to realize is he never can. The whole reason I know I backed this project was Chris Roberts. He convinced me on his videos, his stuff. He convinced me that was for me. But I know a lot of people feel that way.
She is on the board of directors now, which she was not previously. She replaced Dan Offner, which was one of the guys from that investment group that dumped the 40-something million into the game.
Million, yeah.
Yeah, so she replaced him. He was on the board of directors, and now he's out. She's in. Okay. That's all I know about the story. So,
well, I just feel like, if they went and hired a marketing company, they'd be like, marketing 101. These are the places that you need to go. This is where you need to spend your money, and you execute immediately. But if they do what they sometimes do, which is like, no, let's get everybody around a table and try to come up with a marketing strategy. We can do this. We're smart people. We can come up with marketing science. Like, let's do it. And then they come like, why just do it the way everybody else does it? I don't know.
Well, I also feel like one of the things we missed the mark on with the marketing conversation is the fact I don't feel like the game's ready to market to a wider I want to play a game audience. But I think right now they're doing investor marketing, which is what they've done from Kickstarter to now. And we are even though we're not classified as investors because we're just backers, pledgers, supporters, whatever you want to do. But that is the group that they're marketing to, is the people that already support the game and people with the money and potential and ability to support the game is the thing. I think that's the big deal. You know what I mean? It's like we don't have enough game to say, hey, come buy our game and it's ready to play, obviously, because the format in which it's developed, but it's also something where they're just marketing to people like keep the dream alive, people like us. Keep the dream alive. Look at all this awesome stuff that's coming. It's almost there. It'll be there. Keep us going, people, and that's where they're at. That in large companies. That's where they're directed their marketing to, not the public. So, and I'm not saying that's wrong, but
cost per influence, like the reason influencers are popular isn't just because they have reach and influence. It's because like they're the best deal. Like a commercial on a cable station costs a certain amount of money. You use influencers instead, and the actual reach is much further. So it's just like right now, I get it. You don't want to be on the front page of things, I guess, but you do want to attract backers. I feel like influencers are like the best option for that, but
I would agree with you.
Marketing,
but do you target an influencer the size of a small to medium sized guy, which doesn't have the reach, or a larger guy where most of the larger influencers, specifically on Twitch, won't tell a player to go buy a game unless they like the game that I've seen.
I'm not talking about hiring Ninja. I'm just talking about spreading out the involvement in the community across everybody. Like we're talking about like the weekly content, right? Or monthly content. Fold in some of the content creators that are already doing it for free, and you put them up on the show every once in a while, and it'll give them some exposure, and you'll get that free content, but you'll highlight it, and it may be I don't know, it seems like a win-win to me.
Who I've seen shouting out the game the most of anyone? Mark Hamill.
Yep. Mark shouts out a lot.
Once or twice a month, he says something about Star Citizen or Squadron 42 or something, and that makes people go, "What the fuck is that?" Google, right?
Yeah.
Whether they buy from there, who knows? I don't know if it's in his
contract. Well, and like Mr. Equilibrium saying in chat, right? He's like, somebody like Shroud would shit on this game. 100%. Shroud would play this and shit all over it because Shroud doesn't play a game in development, right? He wants a complete game, and he'll judge it live on the air, 10,000, 20,000, whoever he's got watching, for what it is. And so I assume they look at that and they're like, yeah, we don't want somebody like that yet, right?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, if you have these zealots, it was basically what big fans of the project are right now. They're championing your cause, even though it's brutally flawed, and you don't want to support those people. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it is where the project is right now. I think when they had some hype train over the last couple of years, they have supported some of us in different ways, but they also are probably really sketch about trying to do it monetarily because they don't want backer number money to go to streamers, because like a lot of the people who really heavily support SE are content creators. And did you hear the bullshit when they gave away computers like they did to me? From not from them, but from their supporters, because my computer came from a suggestion from Intel, right? Because they're a partnership with Intel, so Intel sent me a machine.
Chris Roberts bought you a computer.
Exact. That's all I heard forever. Chris Roberts, and that's backer money sitting on your desk and all that. I mean, I think that right there made them gun shy, to be perfectly honest, because they put that out to like I think about
That's
5 or
fine.
6 of
I'm
us.
not even talking about going into that gear. I'm just talking about interfacing with the community more.
Oh, I feel you on that.
You know,
a graphics card wouldn't be bad though.
I wouldn't be mad at you, Chris, for slinging me at 2080. Or
I think
like
one
that.
thing, if they want to if they want to elevate the engagement without costing more money and do all that stuff, they should have a thread, a forum thread, where Chris answers questions. Let's not go through the whole video production, right? Let's say Chris does his like 10 from the chairman via forum. Like he literally types out something. I mean, even that level of community engagement, I would be excited about.
How many pages of forums are just going to be his answers?
Well, I'm saying there's like an actual thread where
man can talk faster than he can type, I'm sure.
Oh, I know, but they have a thread, and maybe they pick 5 of the questions, and they do it once a month, like when he writes his chairman letter or whatever, and he just goes like boom, 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 little responses from Chris. That's it. So, well, that's on him. Here's the thing I don't accept, and I love the fact that Chris rants. I love all that stuff. I don't accept the fact that we can't have communication with Chris Roberts because he talks too much. That's not my fucking problem, dude. Right? Like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm tired of apologizing for that. It's like if Chris has walls of text, put him on edit.
He needs to have what was that? The St. Louis Rams coach. Well, not St. Louis, the LA Rams coach. Yeah. Has a man that moves him back off the fucking play field.
Yeah.
Back on his side. That's what CR needs. He needs someone while he's giving answers to be like, all right, dude, time's up. Next one.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm talking about a written one. Maybe he puts out his thought. Somebody proofs it for him. It could be 6 times edited, just like what they do with their Q&A thing. Something like the Q&A once a month to accompany the chairman's letter or something like that. And boom, and that's it. And if they want to make that and say that's a huge put out of the way deal, I'm sorry, I don't think it is. I don't think that's a huge put out of the way deal. I don't think that puts you out so much for you to respond to a few questions once a month. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry, every developer does that. For God's sake, the CEO of Bethesda does that. I think you're okay. You can do it. It's okay.
Hey, I would
just
do
my opinion.
Stuff for a CIG partner T-shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just make me a empty partner.
Hey, it'll be
with a T-shirt. Do everything.
Made in China. It'll take 4 months to ship.
Yeah. Little did you know, we all are CIG partners. They love us all the same. We're like all their children. We love you all the same.
Have a T-shirt that says that, man.
That brings up another.
Sure, you do. You can buy them for $12 on their.
Oh, that brings up another
but
point.
It's going to take 6 months to get it.
Merchandising. I mean,
they
again,
need shit that's made in America or Europe, like somewhere, not China.
Anything not China?
I don't care where they make it. Stockpile some of it.
I don't care.
That doesn't take a freaking month to ship.
Again, these are these things that I'm like, we're all begging to give CIG money for these things. Can I please buy it with real money armor sets? Can I please buy with real money cool merch? Like, if you wanted to get some inspiration on how to generate more funds, I don't know what else to say. Like,
and I do care where it's made. First of all, I do care where it's made. I don't want some cheap Chinese bull. I don't know if we could swear on Mitachi's show, but
yeah, you can.
It's been too long. I don't want some cheap Chinese bullshit.
That's why Sergeant Tickles doesn't buy.
We'll ramp up production at JRDF. Let's go.
That's why Sergeant Tickles is an Android man, and not an iPhone man. Because
that's what I'm saying. JR is your resource for that stuff. Then If you don't mind paying the extra money for good quality stuff, that's where you go.
Does he make
JRDF.
shirts?
You could hang the models like a medallion around your neck in front of your shirt.
I mean, look at Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is not out, and they have come out with a card game, a like board game or something, special edition stuff, clothing.
Okay,
they're already merchandising.
Yeah, but their clothing also has you. Have you been on Amazon or eBay? Their clothing is getting pirated by everyone. Like you can get one of those Cyberpunk shirts, and it's like made by Tony G from like whatever Queens, you know. And I'm like,
you always would have been able. You could have done that yourself.
Yeah,
copying the image and going to a
the community's already done stuff like this.
The only thing, and we'll move on from this because we got to do the review because I got us on a whole side tangent. Is this is what doesn't make sense when it comes to merchandising to me. They're partnered with Amazon. That's all I got to say. You're partnered with freaking Amazon, and it's like, oh. And guess what? Half the shit I order from Amazon, because I'm a huge Amazon orderer, comes from China, and it doesn't take fucking even a week to get here, and it's from China.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. These are things that seem like it's sitting there for them, and they just aren't interested. You know what I mean? It would
not a priority
at
this point, but that's okay.
Someone in the chat earlier, I don't remember who, brought up a good point that and this could have something to do with everything that we're fucking talking about right now. Their current problem seems to be that they can't find enough people to hire. You constantly see them looking for people.
That's been a constant problem.
Job openings.
All these who knows what's going into that equation though? Because
how are you not getting these people?
Well, I mean, we don't know, and we may never know, but there is one possible answer to why they can't find somebody to do the job, and that is
low pay.
Yes, but
the other thing is I almost thought about us doing a skit about this, and I'll go ahead and reveal it anyway. But I want to go through the CIG hiring process. And I bet it's like one of these like weird waterboarding, like they go in a white room and it's like, you must bend the spoon with your mind, you know? It's like this, like, sorry, you have failed and you're not qualified, you know, because they are inventing all these in-house tools, right, to do the project.
Right.
Nobody knows how to work that shit. They've said that. Nobody knows because it's in-house shit. So they literally have to train anybody they hire that has the base skills they need to do the job anyways. So already your bracket of like, oh, we need a game developer, but not just any game developer. A game developer that like, we need this artist that can also, you know, do this and this and this, and also learn all these new tools we have. And I bet some people come in there and they're like, F that.
I think if you go to EA, you're going to have pipeline specific tools there, but you're going to know, if you're an industry vet, you would know most of that stuff. And I
think pay comes into it, but let's culminate the two together. This much pay, plus you got to learn all this shit that's well outside the range of what you normally have to do for that amount of pay.
Yeah, that's also not transferable to future jobs that
that would mean nothing. Yeah,
well, yeah, but that's just the game industry in general. I would say that
I don't know.
That's EA. Every major developer has proprietary pipelines.
But do they are they constantly creating these tools on the basis like what we see? Yes. Maybe it's just our perspective too, because we see all the tools they're creating. I don't know that EA and everybody else is like creating tons of proprietary tools to build it. I think they're using industry standard stuff, and if it don't stick, based on the EA games I played, they're like, oh, F it then.
I have a sneaky suspicion that it's not just pay. Like sometimes pay comes in a number, but other times it's like, okay, you get hired as this job, but are you going to be asked to do other jobs as well? Probably. Right now, if they continue to say they're understaffed, guess what? That's a big bulletin saying to people considering getting a job there. Well, you're understaffed, meaning you're going to be overworked. So
not only that, for a company that's quite young, they seem to have decently high turnover.
I don't know. I'd chalk
be an indicator.
Well, I would chalk also up to game industry stuff when it comes to turnover, because I don't feel like they're having insane amount of turnover, but maybe I don't follow as close as some people at CIG. But a lot of game companies, like some of the subsidiaries of EA and some of my friends that have done game development, they're literally 6-month contract guys, right? They're expected turnover instantly. Like, you complete this phase of the game or the game's done and you're out of job. That's it. And then you go on the next one. So I feel like, at least from the people that we interact with and we see, people have a longer lifespan at CIG as far as developers and stuff than many people we see in other games. Like,
Yeah,
you know.
I would just like to say something real quick. I don't remember what the original questions were, but I think there needs to be some pre-recorded filler shows for the weeks that they have off. I understand they need that time off, but just hard charge 2 days, 2-3 days of filming of Bug Smashers or a lore.
Great time for Bug Smashers and lore makers.
Just hard charge for 2 or 3 days over the 3 months, right? And then you have a bunch of pre-recorded crap
I don't know.
that you can just put out on YouTube.
What about playing the game with the community?
They've done that every once. Remember that one time they had.
It's very rare, though.
The whole goal was to kill Jay Lee.
Yes,
and that was one of the best friggin'.
It was totally organic. It felt fun. It was good.
It was awesome.
I would just feel better if they literally streamed one day, like all the devs playing the game. Like, I just want to know that they actually have gone, like, logged into the game before. You know what I'm saying? I feel better.
I would make a show, and hopefully Jared's listening to this. I would make a show called The Hot Seat and do exactly what he did with Jay Lee and just get one dev, like, once a month to sit out and play the game, just bullshit, and just, like, play the game for, like, an hour or two and just do that. So you can see the dev playing the game. And that's it. And maybe he makes little anecdote things like, I worked on this ship, or all this art you saw over there, that's my stuff. Or the fact that the ship does this, that, I did that. That's
right.
Cool shit that we like. And it's, guess what? The whole rehearsal aspect and everything is nothing. Like, literally, you take a couple hours out of a guy's time to do that.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like that. It doesn't have to be like, I need a full presentation and synthesis on that. I mean, just do that stuff like that. Do engagement in that level. I think that's great content for me.
You don't have to have pre-questions. You don't have to
don't have to answer any
from chat,
or you don't even have to answer any questions. You just sit there and play the game and bullshit with people. I think it'd be good. Yep. I think it'd be good. All right. Anyway, we'll get to the review here real quick. So, Inside Star Citizen. Oh, actually, I never got Tickle's answer on how you, if you.
Was my answer.
I was gonna say I think we did the long version of that. But are you currently a subscriber, or do you? Okay. Do you think it's worth $10? So I assume by you not doing it, then.
I would say they need to. They said they're going to revamp the sub program, and it's coming soon. TM 1 hour.
When you compare it with Netflix, is it worth the same $10?
Oh, don't get me started on that. My wife still subscribes to Hulu when we have no shows that we want to watch, and I'm like, cancel that shit.
Mine too.
And I'm like, we got Netflix and Hulu. I'm like, why?
I'd just like to say that on Hulu, there's Beachfront Bargain Hunt and Caribbean Life for all you HGTV fans. Just saying, totally worth it. Mute them and just watch the houses yourself.
Be on Prime, Amazon Prime Video right now. The Boys is the series you gotta watch. It's amazing.
I did just start watching that.
Dude, I watched it, Tickles, and it was I binged it over a day and a half. I watched all 8 episodes, and I was like,
you want to know what I binged?
So
I binged
good.
Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime. And
that's good too. New season's getting ready to come out.
Yep.
New season getting ready to come out. Dude, I am a show binger. That's another show we have to do is just TV and movies. I would do that show and Heartbeat on Twitch. Boom. Be like a book club. The Boys.
I can turn myself up, Ramen.
The Boys, I'm liking. I'm digging it.
It's really good.
It was a lot darker than I thought.
Is this better, chat? I turned myself up for you guys.
What if all of our all of our sub money went toward commissioning an animated series of Star Citizen?
I'm in.
Who was it that made that one animated show on YouTube? It wasn't animated, but it was like they took all the assets and they made a little mini show out of it about these people, these journalists arriving at a base and whatnot. It was Meyer was in it, a couple other people were in it, and it was so good. It was so good.
It's a lot of work.
It took forever to make.
It's a lot of work, though. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. A lot of work. It's good. I bet it's.
I'd be down for an animated one too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed it. Another $1 million idea.
Yep.
We're killing it.
That won't happen.
Yeah.
So if we did anything, we should do like a sketch group of like we'll go back through lore makers and do like what he does with the Galactic Historian, except we actually play out the thing, or maybe just use shadow puppets. It's like all of lore makers rehashed with shadow. I think it'd be more interesting than rereading something they wrote 4 years ago again for the second time. So, but that's me. All right, so let's bring this up too here in a second. So there is a subscriber update because it's topical of what we did. I opened up the link, and thank you. I can't remember who linked that several minutes ago now, since we went off our tangents. But there was a subscriber update. Moving ahead, put out by Disco, and this was yesterday at 1 p.m. And it talks about some of the new items and new things that they're going to be doing with the subscriber stuff, because I feel like they feel like it's stale too. And I know that back when they talked about new things coming to the subscribers, and that was Sandy. And that's why I brought up the Sandy thing. That's the last time I heard anything or read anything or anything from Sandy, was when she was talking about they're getting ready to revamp the subscriber stuff. And that's been,
that was what she was on. What, Inside Star Citizen?
It's been a long time ago. It
was before the break, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So just giving, it says, starting this second paragraph anyway. Starting this month, moving forward, you'll see a variety of offerings from the character art team designed to personalize your Star Citizen experience in more ways distinct than a color variant. The items that come between August and December 2019 were created specifically for subscribers with an eye towards life in the persistent universe. Some of them will be helmets we've already previewed in various newsletters, Star Citizen Live. Others will be things that you may have first seen, you read about on Jump Point Magazine. We're excited to bring these additional focus in-game rewards, often referred to as flair, which with the hangar flare was always the thing we called it, with an eye towards unique offerings not found anywhere else, at least not in the immediate future. So that's the language I don't know about right there. It says it's one more way we want to say thank you for supporting the continued development of the game each and every month. So they kind of touch on what you were saying, Snake, about offering things to subscribers. They're not going to offer everybody else, but then they put that rider in there. Instead of saying, an eye towards unique offerings not found anywhere else, and then period, sentence, at least not in the immediate future. So it's not really a subscriber exclusive. And that we went on a whole tangent about that earlier in the week on my channel about subscriber exclusive stuff and how that I don't believe it anymore, ever, after all the ship debacles and stuff and re-releases of the same shit. And there's no such thing as limited in my mind.
To be honest, it's okay in a way. I mean, it's like the pre-order bonuses a lot of times are like you get advanced access to something before other people get access to it. So and when we talk about advanced access in Star Citizen, we're talking like maybe years.
Yeah,
of access. So,
but that's not.
I was gonna say, dude, how soon is immediate future? 2-3 years?
Yeah.
So I'm not so concerned about that part. I just think there's a trove of ways to reward subs, and and even give people the opportunity to give you more money, and that they just they don't seem to be putting much. I mean, maybe that's just how strapped for labor they are. I don't know.
But the thing is, too, it's like, and I don't have a problem with the early access aspect. I'm also still a supporter, even though to much the chagrin of the community, of the artificial scarcity metric they use. And I'm good with that. I think that's fine. That's how they've built the game, essentially. I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with them saying ships are only available certain times, or, we'll do sales certain times. That's fine. My only caveat to that is the fact when they say this is a limited item or stuff. But I'm a collector. I like to collect things that aren't ever available to anybody else. And the language they use many times in that aspect is essentially not totally honest, because they're like, well, we didn't say it was limited in the way that it wouldn't be available again. We just said it was limited and left it vague like that.
No.
I think it's smart, honestly, because if they say, oh, it's limited and you won't be able to get it anywhere else, and then in 3 years they're like, oh, here's this thing,
which is essentially what they did to begin with.
This way, they leave themselves an out.
That's
Maybe
what
they
they've
never
been doing.
will.
I would
Maybe they
guess that
never will offer it again.
Mm-hmm.
I would
But
say that
they
most of the
can't.
time they're talking about you will be able to get it, but only through avenues in game, and so that will make its own automatic scarcity. The value of it will be organically built into the game. You know, you just won't be able to buy it with real money after the game launches, and that's
Yeah.
fine. If it takes so many hours to be able to buy a specific ship, that's part of the deal that we all signed up for. But yeah, like being like limited time, make sure you get it now, and then they pull a heart seeker and it's like, and then next month they're like, JK, these are also limited, we're selling them again. It's like, yeah, you seem a little bit like you're trying to drum up demand, but
Well,
Yep.
that's again, we'll go back to marketing.
There you go. All right. Well, to continue this, they're talking about some of the current benefits and how they're modifying some of them. Ship of the month. We all know about that. They usually have a ship of the month that's available. Last month's flyable ship they talked about was Vanguard Warden. Where they let subscribers get certain accesses to vessels and blah, blah, blah during these phases of development. They also talk about subscriber only pledge promotion with the ship of the month tie-in. Says every month we make the previous month's ship available for a limited time pledge promotion. This month going forward, we're going to make those offerings a little more subscriber special by upgrading the insurance and adding a decorative items to each subscriber only pledge promotion, including the offering this month will be 1 year insurance on the ship. Right. So instead of 6 months, which is usual base,
That's double.
That's double the digital value. 3 random decorative flare items from the past. CCUs. For your hanger. CCUs will be enabled for select non-stock limited items, which they have a whole preference. If you CCU, it feels like a lawyer in the background talking there. If you CCU and it works like normal, if you keep the insurance in the item's previous package, you do not get the insurance. And I'm like, oh my god, it's like, so read into this before you get too excited, guys. But they talk about those things. They talk about subscriber vault. They talk about the Jump Point magazine, things we've already had there. Behind the scenes broadcast. That's what the last broadcast they did. The subscriber exclusive store where, yes, you can get all the in-game rewards and get all that stuff. So to me, and maybe I'm missing something here, guys, or even people in chat, I don't feel like, where's this huge change?
Well, the broadcast would be new. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying the broadcast would be new.
Okay.
Right? To only subs. I don't know how they're going to limit that because people are just going to record it and post it on YouTube. What or Reddit, pick your source. The little carrot of, someone said it, the insurance carrot, and 3 previous items. I mean, that's special, right? That's not something a non-subscriber would be
Special's
able
a
to
good
get.
word for it.
Yeah, it's special, all right.
I mean,
I would say it's not big enough. I don't feel it's not big enough.
Ideatron has a good point. I mean, I think they have a clear advantage for subs just sitting in front of them that is a dead item, which is rec. Like if you got extra money to use in the PTU or the PU rather every month because you were like the rec, you could actually use to like rent or buy ships and et cetera, et cetera. That would be like, people would be like, yeah, I would just rather have more resources to use in the PU every time I play. So maybe it's worth $10 to have a boatload more money.
I just can't see them doing that though. I mean, I see the ideas in chat there, and some
the
people
point of
want a direct conversion to UEC. They're not going to let me have 1.6 million UEC all of a sudden. I can tell you that right now.
I do agree that rec is dead. I'm sitting on one.
Rec is useless. Yeah.
I don't think
I mean,
like ever.
Yeah. And you can use it in Star Marine, and you can use it. I mean, you can use rec. There's items you can use right now, but they're really cautious about allowing that in the main game because let's be honest, they want the money. They don't want to all of a sudden say, hey, all you guys who haven't used rec for the last, how many ever years, and you have it pooled up, we don't want to inject that into the game as an economic value. Because right now, the UEC you spend on your account, you get back every build, right? Every new, like
Yeah.
when it goes to the next one, they're gonna reset it. They'll reset it again. Then people will want them to reset their rec too, or something stupid. And
That's
it's
a technicality though. Like they
Yeah.
could do a rec reset, and if everybody would feel bad about it. But if you said from now going forward, this would be a useful thing to have if you were a sub, then at least you from now on you would have that value being added to the PU and I understand to some degree
from the current subs. would be-
yeah,
But-
that's true. But,
But-
so you're like
I'd like to
you'd
see
rather
it done with
choose-
like tiers after you've been subbed for so long.
I would like to
at each
see.
level.
You'd
I
rather
wanna-
choose
You know,
death than
get
dishonor if
something-
you're like, I don't want my,
I want to see
Rec
CIG
change.
tell us how much unused rec there is in the community, and that would probably tell you what
Total
in total
billions.
a trillions, I bet, because
Yeah,
most
I don't wanna
most
go
of us
there.
have at least 1 million rec.
players don't want to hear this, but games have to have a way to dispose of money, right? And
Yeah.
for a
Yeah, you
long
gotta have your
time,
gold burns, aka from WoW, like repair.
you
Mhm.
have
and
to, right? Because
your
otherwise,
buying of
Yep.
what happens
potions and shit.
is there's inflation, and you get what happens with rec, which is it's worth nothing. There's nothing to spend it on. There's no point anymore. So, and it may also destroy the economy, like the worth of the items in the game. So
Mhm.
they haven't really
Who the
had a
hell plays Arena Commander still, like competitively? A few
no,
people?
right? It's a test bed, right, for anything.
There's a handful of people that,
Yeah.
that are like
But that's my
loyalists
point,
to the
not
now.
cause,
The game
Yeah.
is starting
Yeah,
to have
it's
more of
small,
a
right.
money sink than it ever had before, and I think it's possible for it to be there's enough things you want to buy in the game that you would use your money.
Oh, for
Maybe.
sure, dude. Especially with ships being both purchasable and or rentable. All the guns and armors, right? Because you kind of have to have. If you do any sort of groundwork at all, you need guns and armor. You can't. If you just live in your ship, then yeah, it doesn't matter. But
Exactly, and I
you
don't.
gotta
I
have
don't
stuff.
And I don't
Yep.
buy. I don't actually. There's not enough rec out there to make a problem. Like how much rec did you say you had, drones?
1.5 million. Boneyard Studio in chat's got 2.1 million. So
And how much?
I imagine that like the top tier people with rec is like probably 4
And
or 5 million.
and
How
consider
much is
this.
the Hammerhead if you want to buy it in game.
Like, I think they lowered it to like 12 million or something.
But
There
here's
you
the
go.
problem:
You can't even buy.
you'd
the
have to
Hammerhead, right?
reset it every time.
No, you wouldn't.
They would, because it's something you've paid for.
No. So it would still work the way rec does, which is you get a certain stipend every month, and if you want to save it and save up, then you can. If you don't want to save it, then you've used it. Like that's the benefit of the. You know what I mean? That's how
I
rec
just
works
see
now.
I see them being scared, and like because the UEC thing, because you're making it, if you make it the same equivalent of like what UEC is in some way, shape, or form, then it's like people want it reset because it's a subscriber bonus that we've paid for and we've gotten all the time. They're like, well, I want it back again. I think
It does reset. You get the same amount
But
every
if
month.
you but if you spend it, it goes away, right? So if I spend my rec
Right.
right now,
Yeah.
I don't get it back.
it does, but you can only use it in that world that doesn't. It's not a value like UEC is.
Yeah, I just think that it seems like a no-brainer. Like it's
I'm just
think-
gonna.
I think they just
Okay.
need to delete it and say, okay, everybody who subscribes now gets a UEC per month.
I think so too.
That's what I
But
think.
I don't think it's
Yep.
nearly as important.
I'm good
as
with
the
that.
fact
Yeah,
that I
semantics.
can't
Because
do
it's
that.
well, it's not semantics. Because if you say, okay, we're just going to get rid of rec, right now it doesn't have value. If you move it over and say, hey, now everybody's got millions of rec, I don't need to do anything. Game, I can just buy big ass spaceships and stuff and do that. They need to just.
for 1 month, but then you're broke.
Yeah.
I'd just delete it. I would subscribe if you give me, because it handles the both problems. If you're doing a subscription based fee that would carry over even to the live game, right? It's your choice. You don't have to, but you would get a set amount of UEC instead of buying like game time cards or game cards for UEC. You get maybe a little bit better value paying $10 a month, and you get a little bit more than what $10 in like UEC purchase would be because you're a subscriber.
I just feel like
So instead of 10,000, you get like 12,500 or something.
Or
A
it's
small
or it
little
stacks
number.
every year a little bit. You get a little bit more because you've maintained every month. You know what I mean? Something like that. I mean, that with everything else, that'd be cool.
I feel like it's win-win. You give people that whatever they've saved up over months and years of supporting the content, and they get to now that you have things you can spend it on like ships and stuff in game. They'll use it up pretty quick if they use it on that, and then from then on, it's and they get that people start buying ships from the stores, so they test it out, because I don't know if anybody's ever going to do that, and it's like a win-win. I don't
know. I'd just delete it because it's worthless right now, and keep it worthless, and we got like delete. That's what I would do. And then this is how you ease us all into a cash shop, right? Because it's like all the armor you get in Star Marine and all the other stuff, make it UEC, and then people could like buy stuff and rent it with UEC, just like they would that. Don't have two different currencies, don't have all that. Just make it that way, and then here, count the money barrels as they roll in, because that's what the reality would be.
Itchy, you got to do the math, but what is it? $1 is 1,000 UEC.
Right now,
so if you buy, right now, if you buy $10, you have 10,000 UEC.
Yep.
So do the math on whatever that is. What is it? 0.10 cents, 0.10 of a cent.
And Chris has made it very clear that it would never be worth buying UEC to purchase a shipping game.
Right.
Because they don't want it to be
a planned option to always be there.
Yes. But they want to make it more worthwhile for you to, if you can play the game and you have time to, you're going to earn more than you would ever be of value to spend to buy a ship. But it is an option for those of us, if we can't play the game a lot, we could, buy $100 worth of UEC and be able to actually get around and do something in the game. So that's the idea. It would never be cost efficient, though. And he also said that value would probably change to $1, 1,000 and stuff in the future. But right now, that's what it is.
Everything's subject to change.
Absolutely. That should go unsaid, but it needs to be said because then people rant and rave anyway about it. So,
you know what's more important than dealing with what to do with REC? The fact that I can't use frigging gift card money towards Warbond.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on
that is that is like a trigger of mine. That's so bad, dude. It's like I cannot give Snake a gift card. I cannot pay my cash for a freaking gift card, give it to Snake, and he can go buy something at the store. That's Warbond. Nope, can't do that, bro, because it's gift card money. I'm like,
and all you got to do is separate it. Separate that from the melt money. Have melt money separate.
Gift cards are treated as cash at every store in the entire universe that you ever do. If I buy an Amazon gift card, it is cash money from me buying something there. Why is that different in Star Citizen land? I don't understand that.
All you have to do is have two subjects.
Like legally.
I would have
better solution. Get rid of fucking Warbond altogether. Make that shit go away.
No, you can't do that. They want the new money. They want the new money, which Warbond cards would still be technically new money. But
I honestly have a feeling that the way certain things are being sold right now are going to make a lot of people unhappy down the line. Like things like LTI and Warbond type stuff is like, I don't think that's going to survive, to be honest. But
I don't give a crap about LTI, honestly. Like,
I do, because it's there. If it wasn't there, I wouldn't give a shit. Let's be honest, because it's like collectibles. If they're there, I want them. If they're not there, I'm not going to go, oh, why don't you guys have any collectibles? I wouldn't care. But because they're there, I want them. It's like what you do to me, Star Citizen.
Saying that it is added value to something that you're buying, and so you're going to pay a premium for it, and it may not be the format of value that they originally marketed, and it might make some people mad.
It probably would. I'm not saying it wouldn't.
Like a part of the DNA of ship sales, and I don't think LTI is going to look the way it looks right now.
Ooh, you're trying to make LTI ships account bound and never offer them again. That would be a problem. I would rather see it removed than do that.
I like it. Kills the gray market. Boom. Fell swoop.
What a way to like destroy everyone who ever like tried to manipulate gray market, though. Like all these guys, I have $30,000 in ships sitting around selling on eBay. Rip. What?
Is the gray market bad for Star Citizen or good for Star Citizen?
I think it's good because it does. It's good for a limited time because it does pump new money into the game, because a lot of the people who sell on the gray market have a literal F-ton of LTIs in buyback, and they're using new money to buy those back to sell them to the gray market. So there is a market there that does bring fresh money back.
I don't
to
think it
CIG.
hurts.
So I think it's
I don't
good
think it
thing.
hurts CIG.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts.
Yeah, I don't
The
know
gray
if there's
market.
a right answer to the question. I just think it's interesting food for thought because the reality is like economies around a game that are outside of the game can sometimes be good for it. Just
Yep.
from a pure, involvement standpoint, like it's
Helped out Eve Online. I know that.
Oh.
All right, so quick
my
review
bad.
here. We don't have to go heavy into it because I don't feel like there's a thing. I love our discussion though. I hate to curtail it too much, but so we'll go into the Inside Star Citizen real quick. Who wants to talk about what they did in Inside Star Citizen this week? Who kind of wants to hash this out? Usually I do the whole chit chat about it.
I only cared about the one part of it, and that was where we saw New Babbage. I didn't give a crap about the rest of it.
Okay.
You didn't care about where they said they had optimized the missions for OCS server side, and Luke said that it was a night and day performance difference.
I don't see it yet, and it's not pretty,
Wrecked.
so no.
Yeah, we can start pulling videos from 2 years ago where they talked about things that are coming.
It's in game. I'll care.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that I don't know. New Babbage was a little bit like. I think at this stage, I feel a little. It's not fair to them, but I feel a little bit like I'm over environments. I'm like, okay, cool. Look, hey, it's another center mass. Cool, got it. So I'm gonna see all the same stores. The ceiling is cool. What else you got for me?
I think
I
that's
loved
fair.
it because it's the first clean place
It's
we're
a fair
getting.
statement.
Well,
Look at how clean this place
well,
is.
you got to have something to
know,
balance
I'm
off the
gonna love it.
cleanness of the 890, right?
Just
So,
like ships, it's gonna look litty fagitty, and the immersion's gonna be off the charts, and the textures are gonna be super cool, and I will love it for those things.
I was going to say
But-
tech. That wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
the,
think
the server side OCS comment was not in Inside Star Citizen. FYI.
Uh,
I think that was in the
Sure.
Friday one. Maybe.
Yeah, that was in today's
it
show.
was in the Friday one. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You're right.
it's okay.
You're right. I
Boom.
mixed up the
Boom!
shows.
It's over.
Correct. Tech Mojo got
We'll make a whole like GIF come down and be like, "You've been schooled" and stuff on the next show. So that way, you know.
I'm sitting
Thanks,
here
Tech.
thinking. I was like, I felt like I was like, I don't remember that being in there. I was like,
We'll make a big dick bat and they'll come out and be like, "He's a dick."
This might be the one that I missed.
It's all
whatever
good.
your main emote is, just getting batted away.
Yeah. You know, a little screen flies off and all that. No, I agree with Snake though on the main point that, you know, as much as I want it to be, you know, all the star systems and all these amazing environments, blah blah blah. I only care about environments right now at this stage of the game that give me new gameplay or something to do in them that's different than other places. For example, when they introduced the underground bunkers, right? Like that, I was excited about that because there's a new mission set. You could go down, fight the AI, do a little mission set there and stuff. Things are like, hey, look, you can go over here and blah blah blah. I was even excited about, you know, when they had the trains in, you know, ArcCorp. It's like not because anything was like super ArcCorp, but I could ride a train. And
Okay,
yeah,
I
is
got
that
something to say about the train thing.
Mhm.
My favorite thing about the new Babbage that they said was that everything was centralized in one location, so I don't have to take any fucking trains.
Be trained.
Maybe an elevator to your ship, or, you know,
Yeah.
whatever your hangar.
how dare
say,
you
oh, yeah,
insult the
everything
trains?
is-
Because the
Trains were amazing
the-
for like
but the-
30 seconds.
But the
They were
trains have
dogs.
created more content even now because people jump on top of them. People jump off the edge. I mean, it's
Honestly,
created
like-
content for people, and that's all there is for that.
Not a
Bounties
train
is
fan.
probably the biggest gameplay addition they've added for a long ass time. Because you can, there's all kinds of reasons to like snatch up bounties and go chasing after each other. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, I this kind of goes into a topic we were talking about. I can't remember when, but I'm kind of wondering what they're gonna put into CitizenCon because last year they released an entire city with entire new ways to interact with missions.
Yes.
Plus ships, right? Valkyrie, etc. Straight to flight. We've never seen straight to flight before, right? So this year we've got all the cities. So even if you dropped a new city, we'd be like, okay, what else you got? We know there'll be a couple of ships. maybe a straight to flight. That'd be cool, kind of cool and crazy.
They'll have a
I
straight to
guarantee you
flight.
There's going to be one.
Yeah. That's their
but,
MO
like,
now. That's a 2019
you know,
thing for sure.
kind of like we're talking about trains. Like nobody wants to see more trains. So like, what is the jaw dropper that they? And it's hard for them. I mean, I'm kind of saying this in CIG's corner in a way. Like, what are they going to be able to offer that's going to make a splash? Because that's what they want CitizenCon to do, is make a splash.
What do you think, Tickles? What do you think? Throw your guess out there. Let's get your early guess on CitizenCon. By the way, we are going to do co-stream that for those people not going.
Okay, so when we say straight to flight, we all think of a brand new ship straight to flight, right?
That we haven't heard about.
That we
That's
haven't
not
even
like a
heard of.
pre-launch,
Correct.
wherever it's like, hey, check out this awesome thing. And it could
I
be a vehicle
think-
too. It doesn't have to be a ship. In my opinion.
I think we may get two things, quote, straight to flight. One we've never heard of,
Mhm.
and I think the Mercury, being a Crusader ship, is going to launch with Orison at SitCon, because it's a Crusader ship, and they're making the Crusader landing zone. It's a wild guess, because it's not a new concept ship, but it's not on the roadmap or anything. So there is a possibility of it not being on the roadmap and just being like, oh, bam, by the way, here's the Mercury, right? So I think there's a chance.
Mhm.
I think there's a chance.
Could
Okay.
be.
Drones.
That's my guess. Orison with two straight to flights, one being the Mercury and one being one we've not heard of.
Drones. What about you? What do you think?
Well, I agree. There's going to be something straight to flyable. What that is, I couldn't even.
Or
venture to
something
guess.
else that you
That's-
see at
it's kind of a
CitizenCon.
given
What's
now.
your CitizenCon prediction for something that they're going to drop that's going to be in there?
What I can tell you what I'm hoping for: increased server cap. That's what I'd like to see.
That won't
It's a
happen,
silly
but
little
okay.
thing. It'd be a big deal.
Yeah.
I highly doubt that'll
Other
happen,
than
but
that,
that would be cool.
I don't know.
Okay,
I
Snake. What you got?
I think I'll have put two out there.
Okay.
One is what would drop my jaw, which is like all new, really great FPS. Like they add in a whole bunch of new stuff, and like the new FPS like experience is super, super good compared to what it has been, And I realize a lot of that's dependent still.
Now, are you talking about like FPS combat, like ground and pound mixed up with all that stuff? Okay.
Vaulting and
Cool.
interactions and like everything crisp and a lot more playable, and like they because they haven't really talked about it, they enhancements or improvements or whatever, but if they made that a marquee item, that they've enhanced it so much, but that would surprise me a lot, right? That would drop my jaw. But what do I think they're gonna drop? I think that they're gonna do some fan favorites. I think that they're gonna Carrick is supposed to be Q4 anyway, so I think they're dropping that Carrick there, and I think that they may do the community built what's it called, that gunship. I always forget what it's called.
The
Redeemer?
Redeemer.
You think the
they may
Redeemer
be
will
like-
rear its head once again? The new. Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
They're gonna be like, hey, you guys have heard about it. It's become like an urban legend. Guess what? Boom! Here it is. Curtains. Like.
Okay. I got a few ideas, and some of them are in agreement with some of you guys. I think that the Carrick will rear its head. I think they'll show us as a future look, not immediate, just like they showed us land claims, right, in 2017 when we went to Germany and stuff. I think you'll land claim. Oh, look at the land claims! And our minds went wild with building our own outposts, even though that gameplay's not even on the charts happening anytime soon. I think we'll get one of those. I think you're going to get jump points, like the first vision of what a jump point might look like, right? To go through for the future look. I see that because it makes sense. Like, think about this. Here's the Carrick. Oh, now we're going to do a sequence where you get to see the Carrick go through the jump portal and like what that, because that would blow my mind. That would be awesome to see, blah, blah, blah. The second thing is, and this is some of the stuff we see in chat, I think that they're going to surprise me in a good way, and they're going to do exactly what Snake was saying. I think they're going to improve FPS gameplay with the response they're seeing. Like, this is the first pinnacle moment we've had with the Ballista, like people in 2019, where people are like, look, it's something we can add to the gameplay, and it's something we've had. It's the first thing we've really had this year that I feel like elevated the gameplay for this year, other than the initial drop of 3.0, right? In the beginning of the year. Like, we haven't like had anything that the community got super excited about and any of that. So I think that might be a flag signal for them to like, hey, expand on the the air ground dynamics, maybe add some other stuff. I'm hoping they add some sort of either mini game type aspect with Star Marine type aspect where you're going to be able to actually fight and kind of expand on things that like what we did with the SpaceBro Battle Saturdays back when, and what Rexilla does and all that stuff now with these battles and stuff, where we could have some air and ground type fights, full scale type thing, and something to actually fight over, whether it's a mission set, whether it's the reemergence of like what we used to do in Korea. The thing I want them to wake up and see, and I feel like I'm hoping and I really want it to happen, is we create emergent gameplay out of nothing to try to do it, but they make it so challenging for us to do, right? You start out Poro, fill up all your ships full of troops, try to create some weird combat sky sequence, do whatever we can to make this battle vision happen. I'm hoping 2019 is the year they put elements in to support that, whether that goes from some sort of better party system, org system, some more ground elements, some static type of AA guns, something like a capture the flag at an outpost somewhere, where if you're the team that takes it, your squad takes it, then somebody else can come in and hold it. Something like that. Anything like that. Any dynamic that.
Anything about the ground combat stuff for quite a while. Like we heard, like I feel like it was a year ago, we were like, yeah, they're motion capture and they're doing vaulting animations, and
the ballista was totally out of the blue. There was no precursor saying, hey, we're going to put a mobile AA platform, like a mobile SAM unit in the game. There was nothing, and they're like, hey, this goes direct release
through various leak sites, but nothing concrete.
But there was nothing official that like made it look like they were going that direction, right?
It's sure, I tell you what, though, as someone who's played with it a lot, if you will, it sure would have been nice to have it in the PTU, and we could have solved a lot of problems with it.
Yep.
Like the fact that the missiles suck or don't track for crap.
Well, welcome to the every missile and torpedo in the game.
I know, right?
Right.
Like they've been trying to, because before it, the way they used to do stuff, apparently according to Lando's post, that they used to just organically have a lot of stuff piling up to show everybody when CitizenCon came around, and now stuff is cranking out pretty regular, like so they may have a quarter worth of shit to show you that you haven't seen before, but there's no stuff that you know, as far as surprises are concerned, it's harder to come up with that.
There's no sandworm things.
They've been sort of like holding out some things to surprise us with. So I feel like if you're talking about withholding stuff, that'll be a surprise. The things we have not heard about anytime recently would be like ground combat.
Yeah. And not only that, I tell you what, maybe not this CitizenCon, but possibly next one. I know Squadron 42 is going to be real big next one, but I don't think we're going to get another system until a CitizenCon. And they're going to be like, oh, by the way, here's a jump point, and here's, insert next system here with a few planets already out with, blah, blah, blah.
And that's why I think they'll leak that jump point thing with the Carrack. It makes sense to me.
What about aliens? Maybe alien enemies? That would be a jaw dropper.
Well, yeah. And tie all that into what you're saying, though, Snake. Tie that into the ground combat thing. Imagine this. Blows your mind. You get ground combat support. Now it's like, oh, survival mode. Like, you're down the ground, and guess what? Vandals start coming in and landing, or enemy troops land, and you and your buddies, it's a mission, and they're landing, hot dropping in with their own Valkyries and stuff, and you got troops trying to take over the post. That would be amazing. Dude, next level for the game, and would give us hours and days of content to do stuff, man. So
one thing that would be jaw-dropping for me is if they did a patch that didn't have any CTDs or Error 3000s. I would be highly impressed.
Oh, I forgot one other thing that I feel has a real high likelihood, and that is the Squadron 42 vertical slice. It'll be cool to see that if they have that. I feel like that's almost.
And that's the other thing, like what everybody's saying about until OCS is better, they're not going to be able to add and expand the universe. I agree. That's why I think it's time. I'm hoping, and this is more of a hope probably than a reality, that they'll focus on this ground combat. They'll focus on filling in what we have.
Yeah.
With more contextual stuff to do, and ground combat just makes sense. Ballista drops, right? Let's accelerate things, like maybe we'll see the Tonk accelerate up on the roadmap all of a sudden. Things like that. We'll have elements of, you guys can do this emergent gameplay in here. Then when you have combat, then you need something to fight over. Even if it's just a token site like what we did with Jump Town forever. Maybe there's a mission, you hold the position for 5 minutes, a little counter comes up, it's like you're holding for 10 minutes and something's trying to keep you out of there. Or you could do it versus, just like Korea. I mean, the original thing with Korea way back when was you went there to go hack, it created a mission for somebody to come stop you. That was the whole thing. And they've just started reintroducing those things, right? Scale that up. Bring that down to the moon or a planet side level, those type of things. The systems to support that are already there. Let's expand on that, expand on what we have while they try to work out these other issues and then get in the game.
When Hurston came out, we're like, wow, this is cool. Oh, look at all these moons. And we're like, the fuck is there to do over here?
Yep.
Hurston came out, we explored it, and we're like, all right, well, I guess we're going back over to the other side.
But all those elements,
missions, there's nothing to do over here.
Think about how this fleshes out, Drums. You have all these aspects, right, coming in. If you had like the combat and stuff, personalized inventories dropping, you need to resupply these guys in the ground. Maybe create a mission to drop ammo, drop the gun. I mean, there's so much stuff we could do with what we already have. Please, CIG, expand on this right here. It doesn't have to be like so detailed. Well, we need to create the crates and every gun needs to be in it. Just make a drop. You pick up over at B, you drop off at A. It's a war zone. There's enemy ships coming in. You're radioing in with FOIP telling your guys, man, we need some AA coverage. I got hostiles on my tail. I'm going to try to bring you resupply. I mean, there's so much cool shit that could happen right now over the next 6-8 months. I just feel like you could.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely...
It's there.
I hope they think of it that way. I mean, I don't think it gets easier than when Jump Town was a thing. All you had to do was change the terminal that illicit drugs get sold at, and Jump Town moves every week or whatever. And now you've got a new backdrop to fight at. People have to figure out where it is, and once they do, everybody starts flocking there. They start fighting over it, and that's all they had to do. And then they managed to.
What happens if you had an org, right? When they get org support in, hopefully soon. Once if you had an org, and if your organization holds Jump Town, you get a percentage of all the profits of everything sold there.
Yeah, that would be
How about
cool.
make the outposts capturable so that when you
oh my God, capturable outposts, yeah, stuff like that. So then you have a choice. Do you have a choice then? Think about this dynamic. You keep it for yourself, and your org mates are flying out drugs, or you let people come in to get them. You get a percentage base. It's like so many different options. It creates more emergent gameplay because then I'm negotiating with drones. Hey, bro, can I come in there and get some of that? All right, we're getting in there. We set the slider. We're getting 10% of everything you buy. Oh, and then I get down there and drone's like, nah, never mind. It's 25% we're getting out of this whole thing. And then it starts a fight with us or backstabbing and all. It's so cool. So much potential with all these little gameplay elements. I'm just saying.
It would be cool to share a mission with your friends.
Yeah.
Split the money.
Yeah.
And, I think
and once you have personalized inventories and you have some sort of org-based type stuff and wallets and things like this, I think all these things unlock. It's some of the basics that other games have that we've taken for granted in Star Citizen that would just allow us so much more robust gameplay without worried about, hey, we're going to make the next planet over here with another city. I'm like, that's awesome. I want something to do in what we have.
If you wanted to find out, or if you wanted to figure out some good ideas of how to make content playable with minimum effort, minimum new content added, and minimum new mechanics added to the game, you need to talk to the content creators, because that's what they're doing every day. And we've come up with numerous ideas that was like, some of them are a little more involved and would require some work, and others are like, you literally could do it now, easy. You have to
and we've also learned from plenty of failures and plenty of
and
successes.
maybe these aren't minor changes. Maybe there's a huge sweeping engine development type things you haven't supported. But my question is then, because if that's true, and that's the path we're on, and it's so far left field for you to be able to switch the machine and do that, shouldn't everything be pointing towards supporting that anyway, if that's your end goal intention? Because I heard that a couple years ago. It's like, yeah, that's so outside the realm of what we're doing. Well, that's fine. We're now 2019. These things should be on the pathway to supporting these things, and they say they are. Like everything from orgs, right? We're still waiting on orgs 2.0. which orgs right now is nothing more than a website.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's literally like I could go over to whatever it's called, the guild site, make a guild there, and that's what orgs are in Star Citizen right now. They have no value. I can't set Snake Eater's group hostile when I fly with Luke because I know they're going to sit there and camp Luke. It would be nice if I could set them to hostile, and I know that all these guys that are pre-read, they're hostile to my buddy I'm flying just by setting their org a different standing to mine, right? Or if my friends come in to defend, they're already set blue, and I know, oh, okay, these guys are set blue. It's simple stuff. Nothing, standings, criminality, all these things, they're starting to come in the game. Let's focus down more on those and move forward.
That it's not released when we get readable HUD tech built into the game.
Yeah. But we're not even at the point where we have the org to set a standard to, much less see that response in the HUD yet. So,
Just I think it's.
I think it just means seeing your HUD when you're flying at a planet or moon.
Yeah.
What I think is hilarious is they're like, you can now change the chat color, and I've gone through every chat color and I still can't read it.
Still can't see shit. Yep.
Like, you're right. It's totally a different color, I still cannot read it.
Can I add like Google has and have like a dark mode so I can switch to just invert the contrast, and then it's like, oh look, now I can see it against the moon.
Don't make it transparent. Why the hell is it transparent?
Why is this the first game that's ever had readable text on the screen in the cockpit? Why is this so hard, dude?
Yeah,
I don't understand, bro.
I don't know. It's like, it looks good in space. The aesthetic looks great, except when I look at that one moon and then there's nothing there.
Yeah, God forbid you're flying towards yellow. What yellow? Dalar. Well, insert any moon or planet here.
Yep.
Anyone. Magda.
I just think it's getting to a little bit of a point where it's like we've got these breathtaking backdrops of visual, cutting edge beauty in the video game technology world, yet we cannot read text on our screen. Like it's getting so juxtaposed that I'm just like,
yeah, can
it really be that much effort? I don't know.
It's craziness. All right, so we'll move on over here. Was there anything else, drones or Snake, that you saw in the Star Citizen, Inside Star Citizen, that really popped out to you? It was like exciting.
I mixed up my shows. I'm scared to talk now.
Okay, well, how about this week? Was there any content this week from CIG? We'll go more wide open so you aren't dick batted.
No.
Anything? Nope.
I'm done.
Out the dick bat.
Yep. All right. Well, there you go.
Well, I was gonna say I've got something for whatever today's show was.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what you got?
All about missions, and they got talking. And at one point, they had mentioned something about, oh, well, it would be nice, right? We want to kind of make something for during long quantum travels. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe make a playable mini game on one of your MFDs and this and that. Well, that'd be great if your MFD wasn't doing this number in quantum. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Jeez Louise, stop my stupid ship from changing or shaking so much.
Yeah.
Quit it.
Do they not? I've never looked. They don't have a shake box you can uncheck, do they?
Oh, dude, your entire everything shakes.
I know.
In quantum. Why?
I don't know.
I know Pappy said it's a feature, but dude, cut it off. Turn it off. We don't want it.
Yeah, like every game I know has like an anti-shake thing you can uncheck for, like, I don't want that much immersion.
I don't think that works during quantum. Does it?
I don't know.
I don't think it does.
I know it doesn't work when I get interdicted, and it feels like I'm
going to have to turn it off and on every single time.
Oh my god.
When you get in the game, no. Even though it's at 0, you got to ramp it up and then put it back down to 0.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the whole ship shakes around and clips and like vibrate. Like, dude, it should not be a feature. That should be something you're trying to eliminate. You can't go, hey, enjoy the back of my 890 jump while we quantum and everything looks like a small fucking hurricane.
Yep.
So that's my big thing. Like,
everybody's doing the Hurston shake.
Yeah, it's so stupid. That's a big rant of mine. It's been the whole time, dude.
Yeah.
The ship shouldn't be shaking during quantum. I get it. It may be a violent thing, but you're making this bubble outside of your ship, right? Theoretically. And you're moving through space and time faster than normal, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Why is the inside of your ship shake?
You got to upgrade your inertial dampeners.
Yeah, it's like
It'll
Beryl
be fine.
saying in there, in Ark and Atlas, they have a box UN check because every time a large animal walks by, it shakes the whole screen, right? And it's like we just uncheck the box. They just need that. Like no more shake things. I'm good. So
Yeah, bugs the heck out of me. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we'd love to make these mini games and stuff. All right, have fun playing pool while your ship is erratically going through space."
mm-hmm. Crazy sauce.
Mm.
Crazy.
I liked a lot of the ideas they had in here, though.
They
Some of
did.
the ideas are cool,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, I only got about halfway through it because I didn't get a chance to watch it all, but I only got about halfway through it, and it seemed like a pretty good episode overall of them talking about different ideas with the mission features and things like that. And I think we've kind of alluded to some of our own ideas here in the last 20 minutes too, like how to make it more emergent, how to like make these type of gameplay elements pop in and do something for us, in the game where it's like it will expand our gameplay without adding like reinventing the wheel. Gives us more content. And I think we all kind of understand that this CitizenCon era thing's more of a Squadron 42 and all this stuff. I don't think it's going to be as much Squadron 42 as we had originally alluded to. I hope it is. But
there might be some.
I think it's going to be, I think at least 25%. It might be more than that.
More importantly,
Damn, that
what is
looks good.
snake eating and where can we get it?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was just like, damn, that looks good.
Yep.
Fuck.
Jeez Louise,
Pizza stream.
man.
Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Is that
anything-
stuffed crust?
Everything's
That looks like
closed
stuffed
around me
crust.
already.
Yeah, and I agree with Chad. Anything you watch that's interactive where they're interacting with us during the live broadcast on Fridays is way better than watching the devs like build a mutant purse or a or a we're gonna create a plant, or a spider crotch or whatever it is.
Dude, those are so boring.
They're really boring. They have funny moments when something funny happens in them, and so I think those couple funny moments like that happened in the past, they said, "Hey, this is great. Look at the outcry. Look at the amount of tweets we get on this." And it's like, yeah, that was the only thing that was awesome about it is like when it got messed up. Like,
I know.
that was the highlight of it. I think that's the point you're missing.
Well, like what was it last week's was the 890 art. I stuck around to see the 890. I was like, yep, that looks like an 890. And then I watched another couple minutes of it. I was like, yeah, this is boring.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Absolutely. But yeah, I do plan on watching the rest of this, and I encourage everybody else to. Even if you're watching 2 times, just some of the ideas and stuff, they were pretty good for some of the mission set. And I hope they pursue a lot of those, just to kind of expand on that, because I feel like the missions, like when they added the bunker missions, like we mentioned earlier, I thought that was pretty cool. Anything that gives us more interaction there. When they say, oh yeah, now there's bounty missions, I'm like, there's always bounty missions.
Yeah,
Like-
I know. I didn't understand that one.
I mean,
Bounty missions are new, and we're like, yeah, we've been doing them for months.
they were like there from the beginning, I think. So since they had missions almost, it's
Yeah, but now
Damn,
you
you're free
get
1 or free 2 or
a
something.
bounty on your head if you scratch a landing pad. If you bump into
Or
somebody else.
God
So
forbid
now
you
you're
don't slow down in time
punishment.
for the cops.
and I
Right,
agree
yeah.
that's a problem, but again, that's not new. Like
Yeah, but
since
it's
the
fun.
beginning of 2.0, when we had the PU, if you were a bad boy, you got bounty on your head. It might not be, hey, I make a lot of money, but you were like, if you were like the 5-star GTA criminal, right? You were highlighted and everybody could come get you. All they've done is deviation changes of that, but yet they keep highlighting it like every time they do criminality or something from that aspect, it's a new feature. And it's not. It's just different how it's applied. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, now you're a criminal. Okay, I was a criminal before. How's this different? Well, now, sir, you're going to have to go get a key card to go to Korea. Oh, you've changed criminality insanely. I can't believe it. So I'm like, I like where they're going with it, but I think they need to retitle that as like we're revising how it is, or this is a different version of criminality rather than like it's all new. Now we have criminality, and I'm like, you've always have. It's just different than what it was before.
I think the getting lit the hell up by every station ever for having one crime stat is kind of dumb. But I guess in their mind, I don't understand the difference between the 1 and 5 crime stat because they're all felonious crimes if you get the bracket, right?
Yeah.
You're fined if it's a small crime, but if you get one of the 5 brackets or stars, for lack of a better term, it's a felonious crime.
Well,
okay.
I also feel like there's not enough areas though.
1 felony and 5 felonies.
Yeah, but I feel like there's not enough areas though. Like we don't have a gray area. Right now, the current area we have is very black and white. It's like Grimhex is bad. Everywhere else is good. There's no like militia area where, well, if you're bad with these guys, then you might be cool here. You know, so we don't see the levels in that.
Should be that area.
Yeah.
Well, they did talk a little bit about that they're like, exploring a lot more ranges of legality and justice system type things. But yeah, right now it's like a fine for one thing that you could do wrong and everything else is death.
Well, like I said, I was in my Caterpillar and I had someone chasing me out of Porto. Okay. Someone chasing me, whatever, because that happens, right? We all know certain people who do that. And
Snake Eater Zorg.
So I sped up to leave Porto and I get interdicted as always within like the first half a second of quantum. And it's the cops and I can't slow down my Caterpillar in time. So all of a sudden I automatically become a criminal.
Yep.
How is that how does that make any sense?
It's a harsh universe, brother.
I know.
Yeah.
And when they were scanning me one time, I was testing it. We were just playing with it. If you move at all while they're scanning you, like at all, if you like not just rotate, but like if you move your ship like just a couple meters, criminal.
Yeah. All right,
God forbid you have like loose sticks or something.
I got another video, another topic for us to talk about. But guys, if you put exclamation mark questions in chat and you want to ask questions at the cast, we are going to get in a Q&A session. I know we're running a little long. We're trying to schedule this for 2 hours. We might get a little 30 minutes or so. But we're going to watch the little video because I love Star Citizen commercials. And the Ballista commercial.
The backward one?
Yes. So good. I love it. So we're going to check that out really quick and watch this. So, because, awesome is what awesome is. And then we're going to talk about the Ballista here.
Your targets will never know what hit them. The Ballista from Anvil. Rise above.
I just want to say how awkward it is for those of us in Discord because we don't have the sound.
Yeah, I know. You guys just got to look at it. There's no sound.
Really weird.
I was just pretending that I could hear.
So I
Yeah,
guess that
and
confirms
to be
that,
fair, I could
that
switch it
confirms
so you could hear it, but
No,
I'm
all good.
lazy.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
I want when we can
I
fly
want
wherever
that
they were flying.
functionality.
When
What
can I
you
fly
have-
wherever that was? Because that's a dope looking spot.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, that could be a Squadron 42 asset. That could be whatever the Nix system, right? The theorized Nix system.
You know the big thing that I took away from that commercial that was the first thing, besides it's cool, I was like, why does this MFer waste in a size 7 missile on a stealth bomber.
Because he can't shoot the potential he fires. Just saying.
Yeah,
That's the problem with the ballista.
Yes.
I was
that
like,
is-
why are
that
you?
is a fact.
Yeah, I want fire select. I'm like, it's like I should be able to
Could you
use
go
a
back to
smaller
the video
missile.
real quick? Like right before he chose to fire it, he had them on one of his MFDs tracking, right? Like, so he was tracking them.
I'll
Just
find it.
pause it, like where you can see his MFDs.
Yep.
Right there.
Right there.
He had them
Beautiful.
tracking, and he could see what ships they were below on the bottom
Mhm.
of MFD. He didn't have to be in the stupid little turret camera.
Well, the
I
other
want that.
and it's coming though.
Yes.
Because they said their intention is to have like if from the Q&A, and we can go to the Q&A next because I do want to dive into the ballista, because the ballista to me is not just like a lot of people call certain aspects and ships like cash grabs by CIG. This changes the game as far as air to ground. This makes it to where it's not going to be just dominated by spacecraft. Is it perfect? Does it work all the time? No. Is it
Some
like,
things,
can ships
right?
dodge the missiles easy right now? Sure. I mean, there's a lot of things there, but this is the beginning of that. This is the beginning of fleshing out the game between space and ground combat and do those type of things where you have a chance.
Right.
It's not just dominated by who has the best spaceship. It's like there's other things you have to worry about. But right here, there is a selection for ammo on this.
Yeah.
The second button down. So I'm
Yep.
I'm hopeful that it will address the issue that you said.
I don't think that's like a.
I hope.
I think it's sweet that we're like, as you can see here, there's a
There's an ammo
element
button,
of this.
and we're hoping that's real. And we're hoping
Clearly
you guys get on
coming-
Reddit and
I mean, this is
and the
clearly
forums.
cinematic. I
Yeah.
get it, right?
Yeah, 100%
It's
cinematic.
in cinematic. I
I think it's cool.
understand that.
albeit built around
And-
the single least developed ship mechanic out
Yeah.
there, which is missiles. It's still cool. I mean, I think all the
Well,
all the
and they
vehicles
even
are
have
really
down here at
cool.
the bottom of the screen, right below the tracking bar, it says dramatization, obviously, right? Like it's not like you're ever going to be able to do the one-handed cigar, put your shoes camera. It's all drama. But yeah,
You're kidding me. This is a dramatization.
dramatization.
All right. Well, I'm dumping all the money I have. I want it all back.
Yeah.
Screw it.
That's it. It's all over.
If I can't do this, I'm done.
Yeah. But
Clearly, that
but this
works to be much
vehicle,
smaller and going fast across the screen.
this vehicle changes a lot of dynamics in the game, and some of the answers were very surprising on the Q&A to me, that I was in a good way. That like the out of line targeting, like you won't have to be in sight range. You could use another ship eventually to identify the stuff, like paint the target, so to speak, and do those type of things with the ballista, and that's their intention, to have that type of stuff. So it's not just a line of sight type weapon and all that. So those things reek of team gameplay. Those things get me really excited about aspects of the game. So I really think this is a game changer in the combat metrics of what potentially could happen. So super excited about it.
Well, it's just us now.
Yeah, exactly. Too bad you have no chance of shooting down a moving explosive. I get that, but that's right now. That's right
And
now.
I hope that the Eclipse is a little hard to target. Like, I hope that if they're flying in stealth, it should be
Mhm.
it should have some kind of edge over every other ship. Every other non-stealth ship. Maybe the Ghost should be the hardest to hit if they do it right.
Yep. Absolutely. So I really feel like this vehicle, and I hope like leading between now and end of the year, which isn't that far, 4 months, we're out of the year. I'm hoping they expand on these type of things like this to give us more emerging gameplay between us and ground and space and all that stuff. I really hope that's the thing that they'll focus on and continue on. So, which of you got a ballista? Did you buy one, Drones? Did you get a ballista?
Nope.
Hard pass?
No. I love the idea, but I'm sticking to my not buying this war bond bullshit. So
Okay.
I might do a buyback and use store credit to get it with LTI, but I'm voting with my wallet. So
Okay.
right,
Snake,
wrong, or
how about
indifferent,
you?
that's what I'm doing.
No, I don't. I don't
Okay.
have one. It was real tempting because I think concierge only skin or something like that.
Yep.
Mm,
But
snowblind.
But yeah, no, it was the desert one. It was
Or the Dune? The Dune
yeah, the
Stalker.
Dune one. And I was like, I almost fell for it, but I actually love the design. I think it looks dope. It's like really adds more depth to the ground arsenal. But I'm not going to spend money on it because it just isn't enough extra gameplay for me right now. All I'm going to do is drive it around wherever I spawn.
How about you, DX Racer? What'd you do?
I'll say what I did. This is the first vehicle or ship that I've bought that I didn't spend war bond money on, and I didn't care if I had lifetime insurance on. I had $140 in my credit inside the account, and I got me this vehicle. That's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah. This year I haven't spent one penny on any ships, which is the first year I can say that. I haven't bought any.
You didn't get Rangers?
Nope.
See, I broke my rule for the Rangers. I'm sorry.
It's not even a rule. I just haven't done it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Get your 1 year RSI anonymous coin.
I have it.
Yep. So, Tickles, did you get a ballista?
Yeah, find out if Tickles got one.
Yes.
You did? Okay. You get a war bond?
No.
I did total buyback. I still haven't spent any money on Star Citizen this year. Besides I have a subscription still, but
I have, but it's mostly been for giveaways. Pretty much all of it.
mm-hmm.
I think the other thing I was concerned about was because of the new flight model.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of holding my cards for having to reinvest in different ships if things change around, and I'm like, I want the Valkyrie again, or who knows what I would want to pick up instead of new members coming around the corner too. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna hold what I got.
Bluesy said it was too Russian looking for Snake.
I'm not.
See, the thing is, I don't think it looks Russian at all.
Looks Russian. No, I love that the thought behind it's like it's got this windshield that clearly is designed to look up in the sky and stuff. It's cool looking. I mean, it really is.
My biggest beef with it is it either needs to pivot in the middle or have 8-wheel steering, because the thing it's horribly underpowered as well.
Oh, I agree. I popped my front left tire.
Power.
My front left tire I popped. Didn't take the wheel off, just popped the tire, and I couldn't drive. I'm like, this thing's got 7 other wheels on it, and it's like one tire on the front left prevented me from going anywhere.
Yes.
They still put air in tires in the year 28.
Apparently, because I didn't cycle and lose the wheel. I only did the that part, and that was it. So I was like,
shit's Bush League. We already have tires that don't use air. So
yeah.
Well, not only that, let's say let's get super nerdy here. Yeah, I mean your tire pressure is going to change depending on which moon/planet you drop it off on.
Very true.
So
absolutely. All right. Again, if anybody's got any questions, they're welcome to put it in the !mark questions link. I think we had a couple there that weren't even Star Citizen related. I don't think we'll dive into those, but that's it. That's all we had. So if we don't have any other questions, then can't forward.
No SC questions.
Nope.
Wasn't
that good?
Technically 3.6. The rework. Did we already?
The what?
The Vanguard rework.
It was 3.6. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was up for sale at the same time as the Ballista, I think. Right. So that was sort of
Mm-hmm.
one of the ship reworks. What are people's thoughts on the Vanguard rework?
I love the new hoplite.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I don't really care about the new Vanguard per se. Like the Warden, don't really care. I like the new hoplite. It works with what we do on the stream quite often, bunker missions, and we like to steal the NPC's guns. So, and it's pretty quick in and out of atmosphere, and it's super tanky. So, works perfect for what I do.
Yeah, I've always loved this ship, so you can't have too many reworks on one of your favorite ships, but I definitely think it looks good and is solid now. It's pretty slick rework. Although the wings, I feel like the wings could be a little bit bigger. Like I know they fold in and they're supposed to look kind of like completely folded in, but they look a little underwhelming when they're like out. It's like they got little baby wings. But
I would
aside from that,
love
nitpick.
if you could fold in the wings without deploying the landing gear, like F-14 style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
That is cool. All right, since we have new questions, I already have a plan for this. We are going to go pull 3 or 4 questions from SpaceBro Show of the past to see how relevant they are now. I have every question ever asked on the show, by the way. So we can go all the way back November of 2017. So we're going to go back a couple years
We
here.
are pre-tickles here. That's
Hey, why not see if it's relevant, just to put it in context here. And we'll see how. I wish I would save the answers too, but we didn't save answers because I didn't type them out. Let me find one here that's interesting. We'll go back here and see, just because I think I was reading some the other day and I was like, it puts it in context to where we are, because there's a lot of questions on when. This one, first question we're going to ask is already answered and stuff like that, but I just to give us context here, to give you an idea of how old these questions are. And November 17th show, Cthulhu's Rast asked, do you think we will have hangars in 3.0?
I'm gonna say no.
And that is from 2017, by the way.
Wait, before there were hangars, there wasn't anything, was there?
No. I think he means like in the game.
They wonder if we'd actually have
in
hangars in the
the
game, like as individual players.
Because
in
when
3.0.
hangars came out, before there was even a PU or arena commander or anything, the big thing was, hey, could I go to Dr. Drone's hangar and check out his ships and stuff? And their answer was, yes, we're planning for that to be in soon.
Very soon.
And that was, oh God, what, 2014?
Yep.
Sounds right.
Yep.
I think that fell. Well, the hangars came out early 2014.
They said
Very,
the same
because
thing
that was
about
right when I
Habs.
pledged.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's another one I just found interesting. You don't have to answer because we already know this. It's like from Ryland, he asked, we learned that auto turns will be in 3.0 around major hubs. How well do you think it will keep griefers away from ramming people with no armistice zone? Because at that time, there wasn't going to be an armistice zone anymore.
Mm-mm.
Well, when 3.0 came out, there was no armistice zone at Grimhex, right?
I think so. Well,
Grimhex.
Griefers is sort of a specific thing.
because
but
we used to shoot people in
I used to avoid
airlock. As
Grimhex
soon as
because
the
you
airlock
couldn't-
cycled, you could pop them.
Yeah, I used to not go to
I remember
Grimhex
that.
because you couldn't fucking get to your ship.
mm-hmm.
I mean, griefing is a weird thing. Like right now, they have finally turned on damage from the guns from stations. So if you have crime stat, you get them blown up, dude.
Those
And
guns hurt,
that
yeah.
limits your options quite a lot. So while I don't think it stops griefers, because griefers just get killed and spawn another ship and pad ram again, it does
Don't
stop
judge me.
criminals from hanging out around them. I don't know what you would be doing as a criminal that close to the station. If you're a criminal, you're probably looking to shoot somebody that's already flying around. But
You just say your nerd show and tell just hunting people.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, in theory, they are working as intended.
Let's see here. Let's see if I find a question and then you guys guess what year it was asked.
Mm.
Little game here. Hang on. This will be a hard one for you guys to guess. This one was also asked by Rylan. I'm not gonna say when, so you guys guess what. We'll just have you guess what year it was asked. Do you think they will try to push out a new profession mechanic every quarterly patch next year?
2017.
Sounds 17, yeah.
Snake, what do you think?
The question was, do you think that
They'll put out a new profession mechanic or every quarter patch next year.
Session mechanic.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say 2016.
2017 was correct. So it was actually 2017 December of.
That's when they announced that they were going to quarter patches.
It's good insight there.
Are there any professions in the game yet?
Mining.
The beginning of mining, yeah. You could argue bounty hunting.
Yeah, but I guess I view professions as something that your character can do, as opposed to something that you can do in your ship. Because you can just go change your ship.
I think the goal is not to have anything that just your character can do. But
Well, but what I mean is like a profession is. So then, if I have a ship for every profession, then I'm a professional everything.
If you are just because you have a ship for it doesn't mean you're proficient in utilizing that ship for that profession.
Exactly. And how would you know that? You know what I mean? How would you be a professional?
You're not going to level your player up. You're going to level your own skill up at being able to do that profession.
There
in
better
real
be
life.
Certificates, so I know when I go hire somebody for something that there's some.
I think that'll be more like a
expectation of.
I think it's going to be reputation based, just like beacons are now. Well, beacons are intended to be. You'll be able to vote on how the person did for you, right? So if someone comes with you with
Uber
4 stars, 4.5 stars, or whatever, then you're like, all right, this guy's all right, right? Or if he comes to you with 3 stars, you're kind of expecting a 3-star performance, but you're also paying 3-star performance.
I
Or
just
if
invented a
my
new profession.
bitch ass comes up with hacking and I suck at hacking, but I got a 1-star, I'm like, hey man, hire me, I'm good. You're gonna be like, nah.
All right, here's another good one. You guys guess what year this one was asked in. Why do so many streamers speculate about Crytek finances?
Oh man, 2014.
No, I'm gonna go later than that. I'm gonna go 18.
Ooh, Drones wins. This question was asked January 19th of 2018.
So wait, are these all questions that were asked on the SpaceBro Show, right?
Correct.
And it started in 2017? Or you only have back as far as 2017?
I have back as far as 2016.
Okay.
Actually, I have 2015. So I do have 2015. End of 2015.
I think it's funny that the streamers are the ones that were like questioning the finances. Like,
yeah,
probably more than streamers, but you just hear streamers questioning it.
See if I can find one more.
I never questioned their finance. I didn't give a fuck about them.
Yeah.
They were just mad that their crappy engine couldn't do what CIG wanted it to do.
Some of these are some shit questions. I mean, they are. Like, here's what.
No such thing as a bad question.
Here's what. You guys don't have to guess this one. This one here was like, with scanning, will I be able to scan to see what a player's eating? Like what? Like what? It's got to be a troll question.
Now, we all wanted to know immediately what Snake Eater was eating. So
well, that's true.
But
that's not. But I would assume this is more relevant to in game instead of scanning Twitch. But yeah. Oh, this one would be really hard because it would just be a guess. Whatever. The question was presented by Jay Lee, and it was how many times did Phantom Killer kill you?
I'm gonna go with 2017 on that one. Yeah, 2017. I'm with you, Snake. Or Tickle, sorry.
What are you gonna say, Snake?
Change it up, man.
I'm gonna say 2019.
Oh, everybody's wrong. This is actually June 23rd, 2018.
20 what? You cut out.
2018.
Oh wow!
Right in the middle of you guys. So.
Damn.
Yep. And I think we'll stop there because the other ones are going to be easy because they're way more current. that I see there that are any good.
It is interesting. I
How
mean,
did the poll results go?
That's what we'll do right now. So we haven't closed it yet. If you guys wanted to, did a poll to begin with. If you're new here, we'll give you a couple minutes to throw in there. The poll question was, and you can answer by either !vote 1 or !vote 2. Do you sub to Star Citizen's community content currently, whether it's at a $10 or $20 level? We're just curious. What do you currently do? Again, you can put !vote 1 for yes, you do, or !vote 2 for no, you do not.
I'm guessing no one by a lot.
We'll see
Just
here.
guess.
I mean, statistically, it's probably always been that way, but I guess an interesting stat to track would be like how subscribership has shifted over time, and if there's any particular dips in it, or if it's just like the same people subscribe because they're back, they consider it to be a support of the project, and it's sort of regardless of whatever they get for it, or if there is a significant like fall off, and it's like, hey, wake up, CIG. You need
See,
to
I'll subscribe when I feel like I have extra money to do so. But being a full-time college student where Twitch is my only income, really, I don't often feel like I have an excess of money. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I think that's totally fair. I think that's totally fair.
Similar.
I'll be totally honest. I've subscribed the last 6 months because I forgot to take it off.
Cut out.
cut out, man.
I said I subscribed the last 6 months because I forgot to take it off. I mean, to be honest.
In my head, I made a moral choice, but I forgot to actually do the thing. That was the moral choice. Well, it's a little bittersweet because honestly, I'm like a big concept art geek, and I love the whole development side of things.
I agree.
And one thing that I eat up like so bad as the magazines with all this concept art and stuff. I'm like, it's so cool, but even that is a little bit like sporadic. Like the magazine's always great. The screenshots and like the sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's like just okay. But I do miss that a little bit. And I think it's cool that they provide that stuff, but
yeah,
I don't know if everybody likes it as much as I do.
See, when Jump Point first came out, well, I can't say first came out. I'm gonna say I have the hard copy of the first Jump Point, right? The first Jump Point book they released. And then I kind of fell away from Star Citizen for a little bit, so I didn't really feel like I needed the. Now I wish I had all of them, but you know what I mean. So, but when Jump Point first came out, it had a lot of conversations between devs and CR in it. Like, oh, here's the concept of the ship. He would reply, no, I wanted a little bit more this way, And be
you saw a sneak peek, right? Behind the scenes, kind of how it works.
Is that the first one? Drones? Is that the first one? Oh, and you got all sorts of signatures and shit.
You signed it.
They signed your yearbook? Aw. So neat.
Okay, so
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so Drones knows, and anyone who was around back then or goes that far back in the archives knows. Like, there was a lot of shit between CR and devs, and like it was a little more personal back then. Now it's like, well, here's some stuff.
It's like a book version, a published version of Pillar Talk.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't feel the same. Well, Wingman was in charge of it back then, wasn't he? It was a lot more in depth. He did a great job. I kind of miss Wingman.
I think some of the things I miss as the shows from CIG have evolved is the direct connection to the community, where their production value has gone way up. It's as naturally you think it would evolve that way. I feel like the personal connection, like, hey, you're part of the family, you're one of us, and all this stuff has been slowly ground away. It's eroded away, which makes sense in a way, right? As something advances, you're going to see it become more corporate, less personal, those type of things. I think the problem is that I have, and always trying to get that thing straight in my head, is I don't feel like the project and CIG are as advanced along the way to
As they
really
think they
to
are?
mandate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't. I
Like
feel
I'm
like
saying,
they're like,
as
hey,
they
we
think
have
they
over
are, yeah.
500 employees. I'm like, well, that's great, but you have over 500 employees, but you're still, in my mind, and always will be from that aspect. You're a Kickstarter that is trying to kind of go corporate without being corporate. And the way you always maintained that in my mind was the fact you had direct connection to me as a backer. And I feel like that gets eroded away a little bit. And I'm like, well, I don't see the advancement in the game to merit that erosion. You know what I mean? Like once you're at a level where, hey, we're getting ready to release, we're doing deals with Intel, and now you're going to be on there, and we got Shroud playing this and doing this and all that stuff, then yeah, I know you're kind of moved beyond hanging out with Mitachi and doing the thing like that. But
this may be a little immature of me and like selfish, if you will, but like, how about instead of making a deal with Shroud, you make a deal with Twitch to promote your current Star Citizen streamers who have always streamed you
won't
from
happen.
the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Won't happen. Like
Have,
that.
have Twitch promote them to a bigger audience, front page, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I mean, I think that's what I'm concerned about in the end is that if they're unwilling to really make a connection with content now, they definitely are not going
Yes.
to when it's time to go big boy marketing. It's
Yeah.
like it's not going to happen. That's
that's
they're
a big
not
concern
gonna,
of mine as well, especially someone who streams Star Citizen pretty much exclusively.
will
Yeah.
be disavowed.
But I also feel like I don't feel like streamers that get big because of a game, I don't feel like it's always because the game pushes them forward and say, this is my
You
guy.
cut out, man.
I can hear myself fine. It says I'm broadcasting. I don't know.
Was the
It must
last thing
just
we
be at
heard.
a Discord. I
Yeah.
think the stream hits me. It's like I need to change the gate on Discord for you guys probably.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes.
But I think that is what it is, and I'll fix it after the show, obviously. But I think one of the things that, like what I was saying is, I don't think people get big on Twitch or it really benefits them on Twitch as much by saying, hey, this game company is going to push me forward to get, promote me, right? As much as people do something in a game that they get more views, which makes those games back them. I think it's the inverse. And I think what we're looking for as content creators is for Star Citizen to support us so that way we get more traction. And I don't think that's going to happen that way. I just don't.
I'm not looking to get big because of Star Citizen, right? I just want Star Citizen to realize who their true people are.
Yeah.
And I guess and what you were saying earlier is kind of true, where they feel probably like they've evolved past that point.
Yeah.
And I think that's sad as a
Whether
company
they have or not, I think they feel like they
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the people who are always streaming your shit or are always advertising, always recommending your game, right? It'd be a super slap in the face for them to go we're going to use Shroud again because apparently, he's the name tonight. Go to someone like that and be like, oh, hey, check this shit out. We'll give you all this stuff if you mention our name 4 or 5 times. It's like, it's kind of a big slap in the face.
But it's also going to boil down to money, marketing dollars, and all that stuff.
Yep.
Is it more cost effective to get a streamer that already has a large audience on board? Or is it better to try to prop Mitachi up and get him more views to do that? It doesn't make sense. Like we said, from a loyalty aspect, sure. Right. But at what point is it about the game versus loyalty versus this and that? And I feel like
And I
want
get all that.
value for their investment. They want value for their investment, not
Yeah.
to give value.
especially when it's our money they're spending, right? Because then the back end comes okay, I think a backer who's not a content creator, who has invested a significant amount of money in supporting the project and doing those things through his pledges, would probably be able to come to terms more with, hey, CIG made a deal with a Shroud to get the game out there more than with a Mitachi.
Right. And I get it business wise.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's you setting yourself up for disappointment if you kind of think that they're going to feel like they owe you anything, not in a selfish way, just as a thank you. But I do think that right now, where they're at now, when it does make sense to involve content creators for damn near free marketing, training
yeah.
materials, hype, whatever you want to call it. They don't. But
Yeah.
you know,
I guess so. I'm really hoping their focus is, and I don't think their focus is wrong. I think it's, as much as like, you know, we always beat the marketing drum, I think their focus is right. If they go on the path like we talked about, either with kind of our pre-predictions for CitizenCon, hopefully their focus on the FPS, hopefully their focus on some things that they can do in the game now to make it more engaging and fun and expand what they have. For all of us, because especially with the focus being on Squadron 42, if they don't do that and they're just showing us far-reaching goals like they have like with CitizenCon, with like, we're eventually going to do this land grab thing, we're eventually going to do that, that gets their imaginations excited as backers, but it doesn't translate to content for us to play as we've learned in the beginning of 2019. There's not, it's still like, okay, watch me do this thing. Like, you know, I watch Source every day, and Source he's flying the trenches on the moon. I could go back a video a year and a half ago, and that's what he's doing. He's flying the trenches of the moon as he bullshits. And that's great for us because my regulars will come here and they'll want to watch me just sit here. I can sit there and twirl my spaceship. But it's not getting new people to come check out the game because there's nothing for us new people to do, right? It's only the hardcore, the super faithful believers will sit there and do that. But everybody else will be like, hey, this will be great. I'll check back in a year, you know, and that's fine. If that's what they want.
I mean, I watched, well, I heard, who was it? I think I saw in somebody's chat or something that some big streamers played Star System for a little while, like Grims and somebody else. I can't remember who it was. And, it was a bit of a short run because they couldn't, like, they were running into all kinds of problems and there's like zero instruction on how to do anything.
Yeah,
So
well,
yeah.
that was right after SitCon last year.
Yeah.
No, it was like recently. It was just they picked it up again, and C&D was the other guy. So they're like, I don't know. I guess you would assume you go to this centrally located computer screen, and then you open it up, and maybe you'll figure out a way to even get out your ship. But like, I don't know. There's no way to know how to do anything. And then once you're out there flying, you're like, now what? And it's
there ain't shit for a tutorial.
Well, you know what I appreciate about those streams, Snake? It brings reality to my mind. And this happened last year with Burke and everybody else. All the guys who don't play it regular and they just wanted to come in and try to do emergent gameplay and just kind of RP and do that stuff. And all it was people griefing them the whole time or something like that. Or it's they can't figure out how to do the next thing without somebody from the community coaching them through it. Right. But their whole deal, like, I know for all the guys over there, like Classy and everybody, all the guys that love watching from their group, they like to kind of muddle through game by themselves, right? They like to kind of figure it out step by step, not to have somebody feed them every information. Star Citizen's not there. There's no way to organically figure out the game without just hours and hours of playing by yourself, which, let's admit, that's not fun.
Well, and I guess that would be the only reason I would say it would make sense to cultivate your own streamers from your own community, is because there's a pretty good chance that, I mean, how many games have we seen Lyric or, you know, anybody pick up? And even if it was a largely game, they're not gushing over it. They're like, it's pretty good. It's, you know, it's cool. Well, is that what you want your huge streaming, community to be saying, or you want to be like, you know, passion behind it? And so that would be the one reason I would say would make sense to pull from your own streamers, be like, yeah, maybe their audiences are smaller, but if like they're being put up by Twitch or put, you know, front paged by Twitch, then people will get that positivity. And that's way more valuable than like having 30,000 people see somebody that's like super lukewarm,
struggling.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
And I'm not saying that they don't already do that, and we just don't know about it.
Yeah, maybe. Could be. I
mean, I'm not saying anything there, but I see Richard on front page sometimes with SC. I think there's people that do it. I think the thing is they don't want to fan the flames and like make other content creators feel like they're not being supported, right? Because I don't feel like I'm unsupported by Star Citizen. I feel like me, I think it was DJ, several other people, They made a deal with Intel and they got us machines and they did a whole promo and we had a whole thing there. I just don't think it really translated to anything for them. So I think that's kind of like, you know what I mean? It was their first stab at it, but I think right now in the project development timeline, it's probably not a big focus because, I mean, let's go back to when that happened and compare the game from then to now. What is going to take a person who's usually either a Call of Duty guy or an EVE guy or something and say, look how dynamic the game's changed in the last 2 years to make them feel like it's different now? And I don't think it's there. I don't think there's anything there in the last 2 years that's going to make somebody, if they didn't want to buy it then, I don't think there's anything that's changed in the last couple of years that's going to make them want to buy it today.
Well, let me tell you something. As someone who saw you guys get those computers and was super jealous, right? Because as a normal human being would be,
yeah,
seeing someone get a computer of that caliber, right? And I'm sure drones could agree. And some of those people who got the computers barely stream Star Citizen.
Yeah,
that's what
Absolutely
fucking pissed
agree.
me off. Oh, you stream Star Citizen because you got this computer for a couple of days and then you're on to your other variety stuff. If you're a variety streamer, that's great. I don't care. But the people who barely stream Star Citizen got computers because they streamed it once in a while and they're decent sized channels.
Yeah,
That's what upset me as a hardcore Star Citizen streamer at the time.
I get that, and I agree to some degree that it is natural to be jealous.
I get marketing. I get
you
it.
see that specifically. But no, hear me out. There's a value proposition there, right? Because they're a variety streamer, there is value in bringing their viewers in for an extended period of time.
Yes.
That's what I see. That's why I understand it. I'm not saying I agree with it, but that's the understanding that I have of it.
Yeah, Regzilla wasn't playing Star Citizen when that happened, by the way, Mr. Equilibrium. Regzilla wasn't even around. He wasn't even here when that happened. So
yeah,
Regzilla's pretty new. He's the by far the biggest viewer base, and I love watching him. I haven't got a chance to go in there and play, but I've watched him for hours and hours and hours. But like,
for a little while.
Yeah, but they did that before Rex was even here.
And Rex honestly brings in way lower numbers when he streams Star Citizen than when he streams PUBG or any of those other, like I think he's a big PUBG streamer. Yeah,
but I also think that's because the overall viewer base on Twitch for Star Citizen is much lower than where it was a while back. Burke brings in more viewers than everybody else who streams Star Citizen, and Burke plays it maybe once every other month.
Right. But my thing is Rex brings in a shit ton of his own viewers, and once he goes online, 99 out of 100 of those viewers go with him, which is fine, right? That's how.
Same thing with Burke, though. All those guys, they're bringing only their own communities here, and those of us who are already Star Citizen fans, we flip over and watch them because look who's playing Star Citizen. Same thing with Grims and everybody else. They're bringing their community, and the only additive to that is the existing community saying, hey, look, let's see this guy play. Let's see if we can help him if he wants help. Let's do that. We're very welcoming to other streamers coming in the community and checking it out, and we get engaged with them. And that's really cool.
There was a streamer who was much bigger than my channel, and I saw that he was brand new. He'd never played before. He was struggling to fly his Aurora, and I hopped on and I played with him for a little while. Right, just to show him. I showed him a couple of ships and stuff like that. I've got no problem with other bigger streamers coming over and trying Star Citizen. That's great for our game and the development of our game. I've got no problem with it. So
I'll be honest. I get excited when Burke plays just because I get to play with Burke when he's playing Star Citizen. So that's it. Like it really, it's more of a selfish aspect than it is anything to do with that. And Burke's always asking, he's like, "Are you streaming right now?" I'm like, "No, I just play. I just want to play with Burke and the guys because they're hilarious." But yeah, I think it's one of those things. Like I think the most fun I've had in game is always teaching people who haven't played. And when I was hanging out with Burke, and then Burke had to tell me several times on Discord on the side, he's like, "Don't tell me." Because the whole fun for them is like trying to figure it out. And so when Cream's falling out of spaceships and dying in Lorville, trying to figure out that there's like, because we're floating up there, right? Because this has been back before they changed all the flight models. We're floating out there above the ground, but we're in gravity. So he walked out, he expected to EVA in space, and he just goes and crashes down. Those type of things are fun for a lot of those guys. Whereas the rest of us get excited when we're telling somebody like, oh, let me help you and do all this stuff with the game. But I don't feel like at this stage of the game that brings in more people in the community other than those streamers communities themselves.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, I think the game needs its community. I mean, I think it's safe to say if nobody streamed Star Citizen, it would have a vastly smaller reach than it does now. They would have this sale, and who would know about it? The people who go onto the website once in a while and check the website. Like literally, this is why the marketing model has changed, right? Like you have to reach out to influencers, because if you don't, you're gonna hope people come to your website?
I would go even farther than that, Snake.
Some shit's like, no, they'll come to the website and they'll see us. It's on the internet.
If nobody streams Star Citizen, I feel like the active player base of the game would be less than half of what it is right now.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
Probably.
So I think that the time for them to be able to make the community feel like it's part of something is certainly now.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't ever do that, I'm not saying they'll fail or any of that stuff. I just think that right now it's like a win-win proposition, and down the line, it's just if they never reach out, it'll be like, well, not only were we, you know, vocally enthusiastic about this game, and to some degree did carry the marketing for years, but you know, everybody's obviously spent real money on the game too and backed it, and hopefully your dividend will be that it's an awesome, fun game to play. But you know, it just seems like a no-brainer right now, like a win-win scenario. But
yeah,
we'll see if they change their,
you know, and that's the thing. And like some of the guys are saying in chat, and the game will probably be healthier and less salty. Yeah, that comes with streamers. You know, people want to come in and kill the streamer and, you know, kind of make it toxic stuff. But it's like I think with the people seeing themselves able to play the game and seeing the fun we have visually playing the game, and this would go the same not just for streamers, like YouTube, anything where you see people playing something and it's fun. This I judge video games too. If it looks fun and guys are having engagement, I want to play that. I want to check it out. And that's a huge thing to me. But I agree, it also probably be a lot less toxic sometimes when you don't have that, but that's because people might only be playing like in that moment to do it. I don't think Star Citizen would have less backers though. If nobody streamed the game, I think they'd still have enough backers, because everybody wants this to be successful. Everybody wants this world and wants to play in it. I just think right now where the game's at, the fun part is the emergent part that all the content creators like Rex and everybody else who's doing these big battles and getting everybody hyped about it and having fun, they make people want to do that, right? I feel like Rex alone probably brings in several hundred people playing the game, not just with him, just wanting to play the game because they see him playing and having a great time.
Perhaps, but I wonder too, because what Rex does, Rex's stream is good times, but what Rex does requires $45 in the game, because none of it is in a spaceship. I mean, you ride in a spaceship, but one spaceship.
Right.
And
someone owns a spaceship. Everyone else doesn't.
Right. So, but like, you know, I feel like if I hadn't streamed Star Citizen and I wasn't part of a community of Star Citizen streamers, and, you know, people that love to PvP and ships and stuff, I wouldn't have half the ships I have, just because I would go into the game. I would interact to some limited degree with players. I might fly the ship around, but I wouldn't min max the way we do. I wouldn't war game every you know, meta the way we have, and fight in groups like we did, like we do. You know, I don't think any of those things would happen, and that would mean that the drive to buy all these ships would not be there for me. So
true.
Who knows, man?
But that's the great thing. What Rex brings to the table that we don't. We might have did the little SpaceBro battles and stuff, but Rex brings it where you could drop 45 and you could get in there and play with a group of people, and you were going to have fun from that just FPS aspect of the game. So FPSers that might not give a shit about the spaceships and all that stuff, they're like, hey, look, I could get this out of this game. Whereas then other people, you know, like yourself or anybody else that's flying, like Nerd Show and Tell, like, hey, I love the spaceship aspects of stuff. It's so cool to me, even with the smaller market as we have, that I can go through the top 3 or 4 streams in Star Citizen and I can see total different games almost. The potential's
but I mean,
there. They just need to be able to bring it together. Think if they had hauling and trucking in right now, space trucking, Tickles would be out there hauling his ass off, and people would be like, flip on Rex, boom, FPS combat, flip on Tickles, boom, long hauling, talking about trade, doing this stuff, doing the space truck thing, man. Flip on over at your channel, and then it's like, hey, dog fighting and some crazy awesome shit, some hardware reviews, checking out all these things, and then flip on drones, and they'd be like, fucking hand grenades, that's it.
But he cooks them, so it's
no. When medical gameplay is like, you put all these things together, there's a whole there goes the camera, like
without a doubt. I mean,
yeah.
I would even say that the game is advanced beyond some games that are known for, like, you know, just emergent gameplay, right? Like,
yeah,
not DayZ, H1Z1 or whatever, like, you know, games that don't have great
Tarkov
graphics
or whatever.
Tarkov is pretty well along, but like there are games that have bad graphics, kind of pretty wonky, like physics and stuff, and communities have built content around it anyway.
Yep.
And then, you know, I'm not saying what Rex does is bad, and I certainly agree that $45 adds up when you've got, like, you know, 1,600 guildies or whatever. But my point is that, you know, Rex himself, if Rex were not streaming that content, would any of that happen?
No.
Like,
no, that's why I appreciate what he does. I think it's
like,
great.
Let's get like 50 people together and do this like thing. It would be,
and we did that.
It'd be less juice to it, you know. I mean, it'd be like, yeah, we do it sometimes. It's fun, but it's not like that's what streaming it gives you, is that sort of platform to make it more.
Because we all did that in the SpaceBro battles, and then several other people did.
I will say we were the first people to do that.
That's true.
The first published group to do that.
Yeah. And then there was a bunch of other people who did stuff, but the thing is, like, I love seeing other people take it to the next level, is all I'm saying. You know, it's like they're taking, like, this is their deal, this is their whole thing, and this is amazing. And they got people in there, they got, like, people are lined up in formation, they know what they're doing, you know. It's like, that stuff's cool. Just like when Classy came on for the first time, Classy Packs, and he started doing the RP stuff, he just kind of dipped into what we were doing with the scenario stuff, but he took it next level with the RP, because he's amazing, like, doing voices and creating characters, stuff like that. It was really fun, and I love seeing different people come in and do different little aspects of stuff. And I just want CIG to keep focusing on giving us that FPS, giving us the big battle, give us the air and ground, like what they're doing at the Ballista. If they keep on that path, it'll be amazing, be awesome. There you go.
And I will say, dude, the fact that Rex, who was a giant fucking PUBG streamer, totally stopped streaming PUBG, went total Star Citizen, got this whole community together that fucking lines up at Parade Rest in the back of Valkyries to play this game with him. Do you remember how fucking hard it was to wrangle all these cats in? This game's got them in lines.
It's pretty incredible, yeah. It's
Parade
pretty
Rest.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so
it's impressive.
He just
It's an
cast
impressive
the whole game aside that he was partnered with and this and that, blah blah blah, to play Star Citizen for its FPS combat.
He does multiple iterations a night. Like,
dude,
it was everything to get 20 people together, 15 people together in one exercise in one night, much less many exercises in 50 people.
But I'm too proud to ever say it to his face, but dude.
Yeah, well done. Well done, Rex. That was really good. But it also speaks to repetition. If you do it enough, you're going to develop that type of thing.
Well, right.
Constantly and stuff like that. So it's really good.
Yeah, it's well rehearsed for sure.
Yeah. Nobody in chat tell him we talked about him and that we gave him this much praise. So it'll go right to his head.
No,
we don't want to do that. It'll be
Yeah,
so bad. So, but either way, yeah, I thought he does a great job. So real quick, let's go ahead. We'll do the poll results here. And while we're getting all that queued up, again, if you haven't voted yet, the question was, are you still a subscriber? Are you still a subscriber, or are you an active subscriber to the Star Citizen community content at the $10 or $20 level? Vote 1 for yes, vote 2 for no. And while you guys are doing the final votes for that, if you haven't already, let's hear from Drones. When are you going to be streaming next? And, you know, what's your plans? What's your plans for the next stream? When's that going to happen?
It's going to happen Sunday, probably around 11:30 in the morning Eastern time. Be Star Citizen, just getting in the verse and having fun, man.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. So make sure you guys are following Mr. Drones out there. Mr. Tickles, how about you?
Tomorrow night, Sassy Saturdays, of course, with Igo, and
where are you going?
Multiple, mini much sass. Oh no, not me go, but Igo Commando.
Oh, okay.
You know,
yeah. The true brains behind the operation.
You know, you joke, but
no, I'm serious.
Yeah, it's
serious.
The one who quote allows me to stream.
There you go.
So
I know.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
I have one of those too.
Eastern. Yeah, exactly.
And of course,
she can count.
Yeah, make sure you guys tune in for that tomorrow with Mr. Tickles. Always a good time. Always lurk. I try. And then obviously, since Snake Eater's like blacked out,
he disappeared.
He's dodging out.
Snake Eater going dark.
It's like so. When are you gonna do it? I was waiting for it to black out, and then we just hear like a voice back there, like,
you know, I don't know.
You're gonna have to just focus on the sound of my voice, chat. Thank you.
I didn't get the memo.
Not making me feel so awkward.
Solidarity.
We stand together.
Probably be streaming some tonight. Doing some. Basically, I'm doing two things at the same time. I'm learning the new meta. The dogfight meta has all kinds of cool new places that it's gone, new components that we have to test, and ships perform differently than they did in 3.4. So flying wise, it'll be lots of bounty hunting and dogfighting and such. And then from a hardware standpoint, I'm testing out these new Virpil MT50 CM2 bases that they just came out with hot off the press, just started shipping them, and trying out different cams and springs and stuff like that. So we'll be trying out all the different variations before making a YouTube video on it.
Sweet.
So that's the plan.
Awesome. So make sure, if you're not going to hang around here, make sure to go over with Snake, and I'm sure that's where our host will go whenever we're wrapped up. But for me this evening, we're going to do a little bit more. We're going to play some Rebel Galaxy Outlaw.
Oh, I've got that too. I'm gonna be playing that Sunday.
And we're gonna check it out and play a little bit of it. We've been playing original Rebel Galaxy, and I was like, oh, I've been waiting for this to come out for a little while. It looks really fun. It also looks like we could make it exceptionally hard if we wanted to, because I've been told several times, do not go into sim mode when you haven't played this game, because you could go into like full simulator and all that stuff. But it looks fun. It is single player, which is unfortunate, but it's also pretty cool. So it is a space game. So yeah, I know. Everybody's like, I hope you finish Rebel Galaxy 1 at some point. Probably won't happen because I'll be right on to this.
Yeah, I've never played Rebel Galaxy anything, so.
Yeah. Rebel Galaxy 1's locked in the third person. It's really cool. Focus on capital ships, though. This one gives you a more dynamic, I think, because you get the first person or third person. And they did several cool things, including adding amazing music. If you've never played the first one, guys out there, even if you never touch it, at least listen to the soundtrack. Amazing. I would put hands down probably one of the best gaming soundtracks for a space game ever. Period.
What happened to Snake? Where'd he go?
I don't know.
I'm still here. I'm just trying to. I didn't know how soon we'd be signing off, so I can swap out the battery here in a second. But
now we're getting.
Oh, you don't have a constant AC?
I do, but the way the A7 III works is kind of wonky. You can plug it into there's no battery eliminator for it, but you can plug it in via USB-C to an outlet, but it slows the drain on the battery to like many hours, but eventually will run out. So yeah.
I agree with Chad. I think currently he's rubbing pizza all over his body, and he doesn't want to show it because toss. I get it.
Just rubbing pizza all over his body.
Consuming it. He
Pizza
just
angels.
Yeah.
Making pizza angels in the kitchen.
There you go. All right, guys.
Voice, you're making a lot of chubs.
Yeah. I appreciate all you guys coming back on the show. Tune in next week, guys. Where hopefully we're going to have the few toy grubbing. We're going to see if we can keep Mr. Scorpion up long enough to get him on there, so we can get a whole crew rotated. And then look for more announcements that are coming up this next week, where we're going to be hopefully launching some new shows, so we can talk about all this other cool stuff going around the gaming universe. So thank you guys for being on. I love all your faces. And
results.
we're gonna get out of here as soon as I do these results that I totally didn't forget about at all.
Of course, that was the plan.
And you guys are gonna hate it because they
we talked about
literally
before
did
the
this on
show.
purpose. I can tell chat did this. They made it as even as they possibly could. As always, trolling the hell out of my polls. Trolling the polls, bro.
Trolling the polls.
Trolling the polls.
Ow.
We learned
That's
nothing.
nasty.
The winning option was no. Most people don't, but it was a split almost. It was 19 voted no, 18 voted yes. They still subscribe. So still a lot of dedicated people out there, or maybe they just all forgot like I did.
Nice.
Oh, I thought it was going to be now.
Absolutely. All right. Well, this is where we're going to end this, guys. I'll be right back with in the next 5 or 6 minutes. So if you want to hang around, we'll be back. We'll do some stuff. We'll try not to throw you anywhere else yet, but please have an awesome evening. Keep supporting Star Citizen. Love you guys. Love everybody.